Here we go. Yes, this is the song I sing when I'm not sure if it's gone live yet or not, because it is a lag between when I hit go live and it goes live, and I think I am now live. Hello, beautiful people! I'm Bonnie Gillespie, and we are going to do some really exciting stuff today. Thank you for joining me. I have just sent my slides from the Canva to the where did they land? That's the good question. Where did they land? There they are. And so I have just finished what I wanted to create for today. Let me now get it where I want it so that when I share screen, I am in the right place for all the things that we want to do. Yay! Y'all, I'm so happy that we're doing this today. This is a by request, and it's been time to have this conversation topic, and I'm really excited to be doing this with y'all. Please join me in the chat by popping in where you are tuning in from, and whether you do chart harmony, planetary remediation with the outers, or if you don't so much F with the outers. But first, have you hugged yourself today? Even if you have, do it again because it feels good. Happy Venus Day. Lovely, lovely Venus Day under a void Pisces moon. Yes, please, get that shadow side. Did you survive eclipse season? Technically, it's not over, but I'm asking you anyway, because even though we are technically in eclipse season until the next new moon in 2 weeks, the eclipse is now separating. It happened 14 hours ago, like almost exactly 14 hours ago. Hello, Michelle from Arizona. Hello, my beloved Keith from Santa Monica. Good to see you. Yours says help instead of hello. I'll help you. Lizzie Lee, excited too, tuning in from KC today. Awesome. Michelle says, in a Lyft car on the way to chiropractor, jelly, so jelly, and we'll have to jump off at 11:30, then rejoin around noon, and I'll catch the replay. And you will be so well aligned when you come back on. I need to remind myself how important it is for me to go to the chiropractor. I'm so with you on that. Lizzie Lee says, I've heard you talk about the outers once and felt instantly mystified and want to explore it more. A void Pisces moon, that makes sense, right? I know. We got the eclipse, and then after a few hours, the moon was like, I'm done with all my business. I'm going to go void for now a day and a half. Which we get the void moons lasting longer when all of the outers are in early degrees of a sign, which they will be for a few years in some cases. But right now we've got a lot of big stuff that gets finished early in the sign, and we go to a void moon as soon as the moon gets done with all her business, and she's finishing all her business pretty early right now. So yes, napped my ass off yesterday, Michelle, good job. Yes, sleep is either not happening or happening all the happening during eclipse season, and I went on the end of no sleep because I was working on these slides and I was just energized. And so instead of just trying to close my eyes and go, why am I not sleeping? Why am I not sleeping? Oh, the eclipse. Why am I not sleeping? I just was like, I'm going to stay up and work. And then I caught like an hour nap, which is usually a really bad idea, but I was like, I'm going to be fine. And I am. We'll see. This is going to be a long one. So like strap in, get your hydration. I have mine. Hang on. I put a paper towel cozy on my trusty, I swear, Keith was saying this crate of these babas, these cups, was the best purchase ever because they're metal and like indestructible, and they usually do not sweat, but right now it's so humid in Santa Monica we're actually getting sweat on this, so I'm having to do a little sleep. Anyway, get hydrated, get your journal, get your pen, be prepared to hit pause. Hi Replay crew, thanks for watching. Please comment, say hello. Those of you watching live, if you're not able to comment, subscribe, and in 8 minutes you'll be able to play in the live chat. We're going to be going long enough that it's worth the investment. If you are here watching live, you'll want to play along because we're gonna cover a lot of territory. But get a snack if you need it. We will possibly take a little break If this goes as long as I think it may go, we shall see. Lisa Allen, so good to see you. Good morning after the lunar eclipse indeed. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, so nice to see y'all. Excellent. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into it. We are going to talk about whether we can do planetary remediation, aka chart harmony, with the outer planets. And the outer planets are usually like we don't F with them. And yet there's something about them. There's something about them. And I want to make sure that we're open to the possibility that we can do things with the outer planets that maybe we've been told we shouldn't do. I'm gonna be doing lots of permission today, and that works for me. So tell me if y'all are seeing my screen. I think we are good, and I can probably adjust this a little bit here. The window's going to be the same size no matter what. All right, hopefully that is large enough for everybody to see. Yeah, I'll do that. It's okay that you can see my little sidebar there. Okay, cool. You can see. Excellent. All right, so here we go. Can we even do that? Can we even do that? Can we even do that? Yeah. The answer is yeah, we can. So we're going to start off with what is planetary remediation anyway? It's part magic, it's part medicine, it's a show of respect, it's a form of connection, it's a request for support, remedies for working inside out or outside in, and I'm going to explain what that is, and then just this gorgeous, beautiful poem by Nikita Gill, 93% Stardust. I'm sure you've seen it before, and you will see it again. I love it so much that I want to make sure to include it here. And for those who are not looking at the slide, I will read. We have calcium in our bones, iron in our veins, carbon in our souls, and nitrogen in our brains. 93% stardust with souls made of flames. We are all just stars that have people names. Yum, yum, yum. Love it so much. Let me hit on this last item in my list of what is planetary remediation. This remedies for working inside out or outside in. This is a biggie in my other business. That'd be show business. You can go about getting into character either by working inside out or outside in. There are other techniques, methods, etc. But in general, you're either someone who is going to work inside out, meaning you take on the character within. You make decisions from within about what the character is going to do and say, and do they speak in a certain dialect? Do they have a walk that is different than yours? Is there a certain kind of clothing that they wear that you would never wear? And that it's what kinds of things get decided about the character from within. That's working inside out. And then there's the way of working that is working outside in. If you feel you can't connect with the character from within, you may do things like say, well, the script says that the character is wearing this kind of outfit, so I'm going to put on this kind of outfit. And I'm going to let being in that outfit inform me within on what kind of choices I need to make as an actor about this character. It's just two different directions of getting to the same result. Of connecting with this material. So the same is true for planetary remediation, also known as chart harmony, which is that we can either come at it from a place of, I know I have a planet that is not happy in a certain place in my chart. I'll use myself as an example, as I often do, because my chart works. I am going to pull up my chart, boom, right there. Ain't she pretty? She's so pretty. Oh, I've got my extras turned on. As always, I turn on my extras for my advanced groups. Let me take down some of the extras there. Okay, and then I'll just remember to change that back before I close up this app. Okay, but this is more like what you're used to seeing, the number of planets and nodes and Chiron, and that's kind of it. Okay, so I know that this Mars at 25 degrees Cancer, not happy. Mars does not like being in Cancer, first of all, because Mars says, I'm here to cut a bitch, and then comes to the sign and says, I am here to cut a bitch, with what will you equip me to do the cutting? And Cancer goes, here's a kitten. And Mars goes, no, 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 I was thinking broadsword. And Cancer goes, oh, well, you meant to go to Capricorn for a broadsword. Because, like, Capricorn's got the whole matrix library of weapons. Like, you're going to be so well taken care of in Capricorn because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. But in Cancer, Mars is in the sign of his fall. And that means he's not going to be equipped well. He's not going to have social standing. He's not going to be great at what it is that he is there to do, which is to take action, to be passionate, to be fired up about things, to be motivated, and to cut a bitch. And also, Mars really hates being up at the top of the chart. Mars says, I like living in the underworld, thank you. And my beautiful chart put him right up at, like, not just at the top, but at the top with the sun. Like, there's so much light at the top of my chart, and Mars is up there. Like, you're blinding me. Why are you putting me in this sign I don't like being in this place I don't like being in? So I know from my chart, inside out, I am going to need to do some chart harmony, planetary remediation with Mars. Building a relationship with Mars is going to make a lot of things better in my life. I know that from the inside of my chart out. But let's say I don't know astrology. I don't know my chart. I don't know what time I was born. I'm not really aware of essential dignities or affliction or things that make a planet weaker, which include a long list of things. If you've done my work on the yays and boos in your natal chart, it is having more boos than yays. That's one way to come at it. But if you don't know any of that, you can work from the outside in. And the outside in would be, I keep having symptoms of something not working the way I'd like it to work. I keep getting into fights that make me feel hurt by the things that I said. How did I say things that ended up hurting me? I was trying to stand up for myself or for this other person, and instead I'm the one who ends up hating myself for having gotten in that fight. And I'd go, okay, I don't know what planet is in charge of all that, but I know I want to do something to help that situation. And then I would look at, well, what are the planets that are probably involved with something like being in a fight, saying something you regret, feeling bad about it forever after? And I would then ask an astrologer friend, what do you think? And my astrologer friend would go, Bonnie, first of all, this Mars hates being in Cancer at the top of your chart. Second, it's conjunct your Mercury, which means it's always got something to say, and it probably regrets at least a third of what it says because it was motivated by this Mars trying to get that energy out and not knowing how. Okay, quit reading me. Quit reading me, astrologer friend. But yes, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So the reason I want to make sure that that's clear is because no matter how much astrological knowledge you have, you can come at chart harmony, planetary remediation from a place of awareness of your chart or just awareness of your life situations and things that you would like to change. Okay, but who am I? If you're here going, why should I even listen to you? I don't know. You found me on the internet. Thank you for coming to listen to me. This is just who I am astrologically and as a person. I have a whole life in showbiz before or / between my beginnings in astrology and my current time in astrology. I grew up the daughter of a very well-known astrologer. This is her right here next to my grandmother, who was a kitchen witch. My grandmother was also a Rosie the Riveter, like true Rosie the Riveter, went into the wings of the B-29 Superfortress bomber and bucked rivets in it. Then she went and started working on a factory line filling shells with Tetra powder. Like, she for real was Rosie the Riveter, and that's her holding me at my christening. And this is me just, taking in data, observing, being ready to like tell all these people what I think as soon as I'm going to be able to talk. But this astrology stuff is stuff that I grew up with. My mom was going through her Uranus opposition. Dad left. Suddenly our lives were completely different. And instead of her being the mother of the kids at home and taking care of business there, she had to figure out what the hell and start making money. And both of my brothers were grown and gone, and so it's just the two of us against the world. And Mom found astrology to help her answer, why did my life just fall apart like this? And then it turned out she was really good at interpreting astrology, and one of the friends that she was practicing on put a $20 bill on the big television cabinet You remember those big TV cabinets? Are you Gen X and you remember those TVs that were pieces of furniture as big as a car? Yeah, because of the cabinet they had to live in. Put a $20 bill on there and said, you need to be charging for this. You have a gift. And as she was learning astrology to lead up to that, I was learning it along with her. And I saw all of these glyphs, and to me, they were characters and they had personalities. And I would put them in little plays and have them act things out based on what it is that they did. And sure enough, I get to do that now. My mom always said that I was the one who brought astrology in to her, and that she was only using the gift until I was ready to pick it up. And it turns out I was ready to pick it up sometime in the past few years, but it's always been a sort of a secret behind the scenes thing that wasn't so secret. Everybody who knows me knows I'm woo, but it's gotten way, way, way more overt as more and more of my showbiz clients who were doing the most exciting things were the ones that were also tapping into my astrological advice, and it just organically opened up, and that's how that happened. This is my man. He is a mutable, mutable, mutable man, and this is my sweet baby puppy, who is also a mutable, mutable, mutable puppy. So here I am with all my cardinal energy showing up in this world with, yes, lots of cardinal fire, but also not fire like the element in my chart, except for my chart ruler, but also surrounded by mutables. I do that. So here, fine print. I have disclosure. Please take a screen grab of this and study it later if you think I have given you advice like a doctor during this conversation. I'm going to be sharing things. I'm going to be talking about things that might go over into medical astrology because I studied medical astrology for 3 years. I've done a nice deep dive there. I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings about how body astrology works. So I may go into that direction, but I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV or the internet or anywhere else for that matter, except maybe the bedroom sometimes, but that's none of your business. So please know there is a disclaimer that starts and ends all of those conversations around me advising you. This is just me sharing some cool stuff. I want you to find your big three. This is my chart as it exists at astro.com. If you've never seen your chart before, that's a great place to start. You can set up a free account. You can even just do it as a guest. You never have to give them your actual information except to render a chart, and that may be the thing that you do and then decide, okay, now I'm done, I don't need to be here anymore. This is what I want you looking for. Your big three, which are the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. And the ascendant is going to be listed off as AC or ASC or rising or an arrow pointing up. It has a lot of different ways that it shows up in various apps. But it's always going to be in the first house. No matter what house system you're using, your ascendant will be a part of the first house. It may start the first house, it may just live in the first house, but whatever it is, it's going to be there, and it's going to be marked usually with the letters AC. And so once you have found that, you're going to look at the glyph around the outside of the chart wheel to determine what sign that is, because you're going to need to know that information. Now, for me and my chart, I've got my rising and my moon. Both happen to be Libra. In fact, they happen to be hanging out on each other in Libra in a square to my chart. They rounded up in astro.com. I have not actually a 19-degree sun, but that's okay. They rounded up. It's fine. It's easier for taking up space, I guess. But this is, Cancer, sun, and of course the moon and rising in Libra. I want you to do the same. And if you need to pause here in replay to do that for yourself, please do. And then come back because we're going to play from there. It is important to note the relationships in your chart, but especially among your big three, because the big three are a massive part of the personality. And the reason we're doing this before we get into the actual chart harmony of it all and then the outers of it all is because I want us to first be really clear on who's driving our personality, who's driving our lives when it comes to the astrological stuff, the composition of all the things. When I was showing you my natal chart, I was giving you a lot of focus on Mars because that's the planet that usually gets my attention the most when it comes to needing to do chart harmony or planetary remediation. But my sun, my moon, my rising, these three tell the most succinct story about how I move through life. And the same is true for you. And if I want to take a look at how those relate with one another, I go, all right, I've got this Cancer sun, which is a water sign. This column here, this last column here, is water. I did it with the symbol up top and the emoji at the bottom, so you can look at it either way and hopefully know what that is. And then I've got an air Libra moon and rising. So that goes here. This is air and this is air. And there is my Libra. So I've got double Libra and Cancer. Those two are on this same row, and the row goes out here to the modality, and the modality is cardinal. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. These are the three modalities. So we've got cardinal, fixed, mutable, and we have fire, earth, air, water going across. So you could see how certain signs relate with one another, and some of them don't have a relationship at all. They don't share an element. They don't share a modality. It's like, ugh, how do we get along when we don't have any way of actually connecting with one another? And that's something important to know. If we're talking your big three and two of them just absolutely do not get along, that's some relationship management that is going to need your attention like yesterday. And good news, we've got chart harmony for that. We've got planetary remediation for that. So let's go from here to your chart ruler. So again, focusing on the AC, the rising, we want to look at what is the traditional ruler of my rising. So for my rising, which was Libra, I would go find the Libra glyph. It's right there on this cute little pale green circle that is hanging out with Venus along with Taurus. And so I would go, okay, so my chart ruler for Libra rising is Venus. And I share that with anybody who's got a Taurus rising. We are both ruled by Venus. We're different in that they're earth and fixed, and I'm air and cardinal, but we share rulership, Venus. And that's for traditional rulers. And I know you're going, Bonnie, this is supposed to be a thing about the outers, and you're talking about traditional rulership. I sure am, because we're going to do this first, and then we're going to layer on the outers, and this will make it less overwhelming for everyone at every level. You are welcome. I'm going to check the chat real quick and make sure that everybody's doing okay. You love my story. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love hearing you talk about your water Mars. I have one of those too, and this is so relatable. Glad mine is at least in the underworld, as you say, though. Yeah, really, Mars does not like being woken up and sent to work during daylight hours. No, not at all. Not at all, Liz. Wow, all new, says Sarah, says Celery Queen. Really? Really, really? Got a lot going on with the moon in Waco, Texas. Okay, we'll get you hooked up. We'll get you hooked up. We'll fix you up. Awesome. Great. Great, great, great. Love seeing y'all participate in the chat. Thank you so much. And anyone who's watching who does not have the ability to participate in the chat, just subscribe. I've got it on subscribers only, and you can just subscribe, and then 8 minutes later you'll be able to say something. And it's okay. I'll still be close enough to what we were talking about 8 minutes before that your comment will make sense when I get to it. I promise. Okay. All right. I am having bubbly hydration now. This is your reminder to hydrate. We are still in eclipse season, and eclipses require rest, hydration, and bubble wrap. Way more accident prone, way, way, way more thirsty, way, way, way more exhausted. You know, and also it's 1,000 degrees because, you know, nobody listened to Al Gore. Okay, so now we've got your chart ruler. Yes, everybody got a chart ruler? Feel free to share with me in the chat what your chart ruler is. And I did put a little PS, notice those colors. That's going to be important later. So we have a nice little purple behind Jupiter. We have green behind Venus. We have a black behind Daddy Saturn. We have blue behind the moon, red or reddish orange behind Mars. We have a pale pink peach kind of thing going on behind Mercury. And the sun has this gold, yellow, / orange that it's going to end up sharing with Mars as we get into some of the nitty gritty of all this. Okay, so why do we omit the outers? First of all, as Claire Gallagher says in Body Astrology, excellent book, highly recommended. She also has a new book that just came out called Cosmic Year. It's all about annual perfections, also highly recommend. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are strong forces that almost always act in excess. So in her book on how we map out our charts into our bodies and know what kinds of symptoms we might be experiencing that could be balanced out through some planetary remediation and paying attention to the planets in different ways, she specifically notes that the problematic issue with using outer planets in rulership, which would be modern rulership, is that the outers are all considered malefic. And in astrology, we have benefics, malefics, and then we have the luminaries. The luminaries are the moon, the sun. They do not, I don't want to say they do not act as malefic, benefic, but because that's not entirely true, but that's a bigger conversation than the one we're going to have today. But you've got like the good guys. Jupiter says, I trust, I have faith, I'm an optimist, I expand, I grow, I have no limits, we can just keep going. Faith, faith, faith. Venus says, I magnetize, I manifest, I attract to me everything that is good and wanted and desired in the world. And then you have the malefics. You have Daddy Saturn, who says, I say no, I put boundaries on you, I ask you to prune, I kill suckers off. I am here to show you where the limits and boundaries are. I'm not big on yes. Like the only thing I'm going to say yes to is a fast or abstaining as a way of showing your respect to Daddy Saturn. By the way, that's planetary remediation. And then there's Mars, also a malefic. Mars says, I cut a bitch. I'm here to fight. I'm here to get really passionate and hot about things and then take action accordingly. So when we're looking at the outers, those all behave more on the malefic side of things, and that therefore inviting them into some of the more intimate things that we do, like body astrology, can be problematic in that it puts more energy and more negative energy than is actually intended for that inner working, that presentation of who we are through the big three. The outers behave generationally. They take so frickin' long to move that they don't necessarily, in our charts, tell the story of a signature of our personality. So when we're looking at why we would do planetary remediation, it would be to improve a situation in our own lives, in our charts. So if I say, but I want to do planetary remediation for my Pluto in Virgo, well, Pluto was in Virgo forever. And I just happen to be a part of the Gen X group of folks that have a Pluto Virgo. Like, it's something we all share. So it's not that special. It doesn't say that much about me except what generation I come from. And generations, as we use them in our society, you know, the labels like Boomer and Gen X and all that, those are economic designations. Those were created for marketing purposes. Yay, capitalism. So just know that the more accurate way of lumping our generations could be, where was Pluto when you were born? And then that means you've got something in common with a decade and a half or 2 decades worth of people. In some cases, 3 decades worth of people, because Pluto moves anywhere from, it takes 11 years to 33 years to go through a sign, depending on what sign we're talking about because of wonky orbit. Neptune also takes 14 years to go through signs, sometimes 12, depending on the sign. But that's a lot. That's a long time. And that means that, again, there's going to be a generation that I share with this Scorpio Neptune generation. That's a subset of my Gen X. And then there are ones that have the Sagittarius Neptune that are still Gen X, but then there are the ones that go on to be millennials and have that. So there's just, with the outers, they are tracking a little bit slowly to be considered personal in their impact. Also, planetary remediation predates the discovery of the outers. Forever, astrology was what we can see and what we can observe, and then what we can map out that's happening here on Earth based on what we're witnessing in the sky. And we could not see beyond Saturn. That was it. That was the end of the universe. That was all that was observable before there was technology that allowed us to see beyond, and then math that allowed us to math beyond and figure out what's there even before we could see it. And then we would check the math and find out, is there actually something there based on the math that we're doing about what we know about these things out in space. And then the technology would come along to say, confirm, Neptune does exist. You discovered it in math, but it exists. We found it. Those types of things. That none of that was happening for thousands of years of astrology. And so for thousands of years of astrology, we had, there's an eclipse and a king dies. Wow, why do all these people die during eclipses? Because look, the sun is going away. That's weird. That doesn't happen all the time. We've learned that every month we have these things that happen, but we don't have that every month. So that's a very special occurrence, and look at what it means. Look at what the patterns are that we can track. And so planetary remediation was something that began long before the other planets existed. And I know they existed. They had not been found by humans by the time humans came up with planetary remediation to do things to help us connect with the planets. Also, the modern rulership was mapped out based on what astrologers knew of the signs, and could the planets then be of service to what those signs need, but how they're different from the other sign that they share rulership with. So, for example, we've got Daddy Saturn as the traditional ruler of both Capricorn and Aquarius. And I always say Daddy Saturn has two kids, and those two kids are Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorn loves to be a high achiever, goes out and gets straight A's, brings home all the good report cards, does exactly what the rules say to do, because Capricorn knows Daddy Saturn has rules and I like being rewarded for following the rules, so I'm going to follow the rules. Aquarius is Daddy Saturn's other kid. And Aquarius goes, yeah, I got your rules. But I'm going to show you how we can break those rules. Because through breaking those rules, we create new rules. First, we create freedom, and then we create new rules that could be better for the collective, because I've got a little more of an eye toward what we could be, not just what we are. And Capricorn's like, oh my God, Aquarius, if you would just go to school and take the test. You're so smart. Why are you over here organizing rallies and trying to be all different all the time? And Aquarius is like, I am different. The fact that you fail to acknowledge that just shows your limitations. And so modern astrologers came along and said, that's like Uranus. Uranus comes in and says, I'm going to break shit. I'm going to say, where am I not free? And then we're going to break things. And we're going to break things so that we can become more free, which is good for the collective. And we're going to have a more utopian view of what's possible. We're going to be more original, and we're also going to be more progressive. And Aquarius can now go to Uranus instead of being limited by Saturn. And I say, Aquarius was never limited by Saturn. Aquarius was just informed by Saturn, and anyone who's ever been a rebellious kid to a strict parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not that modern rulership is wrong, it just was done in reverse order from how traditional rulership was done, which was based on the Thema Mundi. And I do have content on the Thema Mundi. I will put a link in the description of this video when the replay has come together and I'm going in and editing the description with time code. I'll include a link to my talk on the Thema Mundi if you're interested in that. It's fascinating. It's amazing. It is the theoretical birth chart of the world. And it's fine if our understanding of astrology and all things evolves, because part of being human is to evolve and to change our way of thinking about something as we grow. That's a very Jupiter thing for us to do. And Rexy Bills says in the rulership book, it's important to note that rulerships can change. This does not mean that energies are changing, but that man is changing in his response to the energies. And I really like that a lot. All right, do you remember when I asked you to identify your chart ruler and your big three? We're going to put them on a road trip now. So this is my life car concept. If you would like to go deeper on the life car, I will include a link in the description to where I do a whole deep dive on the life car. We're just going to do a little bit here so that we can get the relationships between these three characters in this car on a road trip for our life. So the rising, the ascendant, is the driver of the life car. This is the one that's in charge of, we're on the road and we're going like this. It's the one, this is the one that's got the hands on the, I know your ascendant is a mathematical point. It doesn't have hands, but go with me on the metaphor. Your ascendant has the hands on the wheel, foot on the gas, or maybe the brake. Maybe like some people drive with one foot on the brake and the gas at the same time. Oh my God, that's so dangerous. Don't do that. But this is your driver. Your ascendant is your driver. This is what moves the car forward. And if you're like, my ascendant is so stuck, yes, possibly, which is why we're glad we're not on this trip with just the driver. We have passengers. We have the navigator of your life car, and that is your sun. Your sun has the map. Your sun is riding shotgun, and your sun has the map. And that map can be GPS. It can be Thomas Brothers Guide. It can be one of those great big fold out things. It can be printed out from MapQuest. You remember going to MapQuest and printing your map? Oh, I miss the old internet. It could be something scribbled down on a gum wrapper, sort of. Or it could just be vibes, depending on what your sun is. But your sun does know where we're going. Your sun has the map. So your sun has a lot to say to the driver about how we're going to get there. And then in the back seat, we've got the back seat driver, and that's your baby moon. Your moon is in the back seat, possibly reading, possibly taking a nap, possibly listening to a great playlist, possibly kicking the backs of the front seats going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Depends on the sign. But your moon is in charge of making sure our needs are met. Your moon is back there going, are we safe? And are we getting our needs met? So these three signs hang out together on this road trip that lasts your whole life long. And I would love to see in the chat, what is your life car made up of? Tell me. Celery Queen says, wow, how synchronistic, since I have to trade in my 9-year-old car. I'm attached to it, but it's not safe to drive. Celery Queen, my baby car turned 37 years old this month. What? I knew when I bought her, I would have her at least until I was 30, which to me was forever, because I bought her when I was like, I had just turned 19, or I was about to turn 19 when I went and put money down on her. And then by the time she arrived on the lot, I was 19. And I was like, I'm going to have her till I'm 30. I'm having her forever. And here I am 56 and I still have her. Oh my gosh. Okay, Pluto can take up to 40 years in Taurus. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I thought 33 was the max. Oh my gosh, and it was around a decade when it was in Scorpio. So as we continue with Pluto, now it's going to get longer and longer in a sign up to its completion. Oh my gosh, Lisa, thank you for that update. Wow. Little tiny soprano, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Gemini rising, chart ruler Mercury. Yes. Mars is exalted, Capricorn, upper sky in my day chart, conjunct the Mercury retrograde sun and south node. Look at Lisa, you and me with our Mercury Mars conjunction in the same place as our sun. You know, like these are fun relationships. Fun. I love. I can learn from you with your exalted Mars. Absolutely. Yes. Okay, we've got Cap rising. Okay, so that's good. We got a nice, steady, excellent driver. Taurus sun, so holding the map. We've got somebody that is loyal to the plan. This is the plan. We're going to stick with the plan. And Capricorn's like, I see no need to deviate from the plan. I like what you got here, Lizzie Lee. I like this. But in your back seat, you got a Sagittarius moon going, oh my God, this is so boring. Why can't we take an adventure? Can we please take a detour? Can we please go anywhere else? Oh my gosh, this is so boring. Does that sound right? 19 years old. Oh, I misread. Okay, 19 years old. Got it. Capricorn driving, also for little tiny soprano. Libra navigating. Okay, so Libra's like, this is the most beautiful route. I've chosen the most beautiful route for us to go. And Capricorn driving is like, there's a straighter route. But Libra's like, yes, but the scenic route is really more pleasing. And we want to make sure this is a pleasing ride. And Capricorn's like, not really the point of the journey, but okay. And then you've got Aries in the back seat, absolutely kicking the front seat, saying, are we there yet? Y'all with your fire moons. Your fire moons are like, come on, right? Oh my gosh, fire moons, yes. Oh yes, little tiny soprano is Milo, yay. I'm so glad you're able to join us, Milo. It was great to spend time with you this morning. Yay. Yay. 2008 Ford Escape. All right. All right. Yes, my car has lasted. And when she sits alone in the driveway, parked for too long, clearly not having been driven in a few weeks, there will be a note under the windshield wiper asking if I want to sell her, and the answer is no. The answer is always no. The answer is you could not come up with enough money for me to sell my baby car. Nope. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I do. I so get you, Lizzie Lee. I so get you. I so get you. Okay, Lisa, we've got Sun, Capricorn, again, with all these Capricorn drivers. I love my Capricorn team showing up for this live stream. Y'all are great. Y'all are great. Straight A students. I love it. Yes. Okay, so you got your life car, Sun, Capricorn. Gemini rising. Okay, sorry, I flipped that. Okay, yes. So your navigator is Capricorn. Your driver is Gemini. Woo! And Leo moon in the back. Again with these fire moons. Oh my God, y'all. We have an entire like fire moon crew here. This is great. Okay, so these fire moons are like, come on. Your Gemini driver, Lisa, sometimes gets distracted. Your Capricorn navigator, not a fan. Because that Gemini driver, that Gemini rising, is going, ooh, what's over there? Let's go that way. And Capricorn's like, just stay on the road. And trying to hit the cruise control and like, can we just lock this down? And Gemini's like, no, I saw that and I want to check that out. Because Gemini always wants to know not just what's going on, but what else is going on. Oh man, yes, Capricorn and Libra. I love it. Yeah, Fire Moon crew. Excellent. Oh, so good. Okay, fabulous. Y'all are doing great. Excellent. Keep it coming. So I share mine here just in case anybody needs an example of what this looks like. You've got your rising sign, you've got your moon sign, you got your sun sign. Once you've mapped that out, you're good to go. You got your life car. And now we're going to put in the elements. Okay. So you heard me saying we got a bunch of fire moons on these road trips here in our live stream. A lot of fire moons going, are we there yet? Come on, can we do something more interesting? Oh my God, let's make this an adventure. The Leo moon is back there going, why are y'all not listening to me singing show tunes? Why are you not rolling down the windows and driving by the most populated place possible so I can have a bigger audience for me? Do you hear me? I'm singing these show tunes beautifully. Come on. Okay, so what are your elements in your life car? Mine, Libra, that's some air. And Cancer, that's some water. So in my life car, I have chat. Those Libra, chat. Air never shuts up. And if it's not coming out the mouth, it's all in the head. Gemini, never done talking to yourself. Aquarius, never done talking to the world. Talk. And then that water is feeling all the feelings, and not just all the feelings in the car. It's feeling all the feelings of everything we drive by. When looking at the map, it's feeling all the feelings about all the times we've been to all the places that are on this map. If it's a map that's written directions, it's feelings about that pen, and I'm sad I don't have that pen anymore. It's just feelings. Oh, the song that came on the radio, feelings. What do you have missing from your life car? Because there are 4 elements, and the 4 elements are fire, passion, earth, which is let's go, let's get it done, let's just down to business. Why are we doing all this extra? We've got air, chat, so many ideas, and water, all the feelings, soups a mosh. Because you can only have 3 things in your life car, we are all going to be missing at least one element. I am missing 2 elements. I am missing fire and earth, and only having air and water. How about you? I would like a navigator boyfriend, LOL. Sometimes I have to be it all myself. Yes, I hear you. Scorpio sun, Gemini moon, not sure Pisces or Aquarius rising with the 5-minute window my mom gave me. Okay, so do it for each. Do one life car for each manger. Do each. Do one life car with a Pisces rising and another one with an Aquarius rising. And either way, you're going to be doubling up an element, because either you have a Pisces rising, which is going to be water along with your Scorpio sun, or you have an Aquarius rising, which is going to be air along with your Gemini moon. So you're either going to have an extra chatty or an extra feely. And that may help you get a little closer in on which of those might be the more accurate rising sign. Excellent. Air, earth, fire. There you go. You get there. You sure do. And you don't know how you feel about it, but you do get there. You do get there. Right on, Lisa. Earth in front, fire in the back. All right. So double earth with fire, that can feel like a fire pit. That can feel like we've dug a hole and set a fire in it, and that fire would really like to travel. And all that earth is like, no, we're good. We're good. Missing water. I have so much earth in my life and in my chart in general. Missing air and water. Okay, so already just by taking a look at a missing element in your life car, you may be getting ideas for, ooh, it would feel really good to more easily access something that I don't have in my life car. It would feel so much better if I had the ability to connect with some other element that is not available to me. I sent out in the Bond Blast, if you're on my mailing list, you received the email I sent a week or so ago about my fire friends. I surround myself with fire people, and I love that. And I notice it's because I need them, because I do not have much fire in my own chart. What I have is very, very fiery, and it works really, really well, but I don't have much of it. And so tapping into it feels like I got to be very brave to just even tap into my own fire. And so I surround myself with these fire friends, and they're always like, we're on a Zoom during a lady date, and they're like, Bonnie, just do blah blah. And I'm like, I can't just do blah blah. I have to think about it for another year, and then I have to feel about it for at least another 6 months. Like, there's no way I could just do it. And my friends, meanwhile, who are fire friends, are like, you could knock that out today. You could literally get that project completed today. And I go, you could. I don't have fire. What is it for you? What would be great to tap into? And yes, your friends are planetary remediation. Yes, your friends are chart harmony. You surround yourself with people who help you feed the things that are missing in your chart. Absolutely. Helpful tip I learned for cuspy ascendants. Thank you, Lisa. Test both with your siblings in the 3rd house and parents in the 10th and 4th. I love that. That's a great tip. Okay, so what Lisa's saying is, for those of you who are not sure about your rising sign, put your siblings in your 3rd house and put your parents in the 4th and 10th house. And what I like to do for that is the unseen parent is in the 4th house, the one that's more behind the scenes, and the more public parent is the one in the 10th house. So like me, if you're a child of divorce, the parent that you kept living with is in the 10th, and the parent that left is the 4th. If you're adopted, the birth parents in the 4th, the adopted parents in the 10th. You could do the male-female binary if that serves you. Doesn't serve me pretty much ever, but if that serves you, you would put mother in the 4th and father in the 10th. So put with each rising sign your siblings and your parents in 3rd and 4th, 10th houses and see which makes more sense for your relationship with them. I love that. That's great advice. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure my backseat fire moon loves the fact that I'm dating a fire sign with air, moon, and rising. Yep. Hundo percento. That is correct. 29 Gemini rising, and I tried Cancer rising, and it didn't explain my family. That's perfect. Thank you, Lisa. That's so helpful. Celery Queen. Me too. I have some Sagittarius friends and some Capricorn, as I'm a Cancer. Yep. We need that. Manger says, oh, thanks, Lisa. And yep, I'd love to have some Earth. Got a Leo Mars, Libra Venus, no Earth unless it's the possible chart ruler Jupiter in fall in Capricorn, which is then has its own issues. So even if that's the case, you're going to want to do some chart harmony for the Earth stuff because it will serve you in any case. Okay, so then I added my rulers. Now I want you to add your rulers. So just as we're talking about when Manger said, if I'm this, then my chart ruler is Jupiter. So going back to the traditional rulership slide, right here, what planets that are ruling the things are in your life car or are overseeing the operation of your life car? My life car is overseen by Venus, and the moon. I am a Venus-ruled moon baby. That is correct. I am a Venus-ruled moon baby. Venus says, never late, always worth the wait. You're welcome. And Moon says, I am feeling everything that everybody is feeling always, and that's a lot. So when I run away, it's because I need to squeeze out this sponge that has picked up all y'all's stuff, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, Libra, I'm a people pleaser. Let me pick up more of your emotions. Please, let me feel more of your pain. Okay, so enter chart harmony. All right, so if you just want to stop here, you can do chart harmony by the elements. And yes, I know there are too many words on this slide. Take a screen grab of it and make it bigger and read it later. Pause, whatever you need to do. Hi, replay crew, we're thinking of you. Ow, as I reconfigure my achy bod on this chair. And I know I'm gonna go so long today because I'm only on slide page 13 of 41. Oh my gosh. So this is faux show, a way to do it without having to get into the weeds. If you're like, this already feels too much, I think I'm overwhelmed, and we haven't even added on the outers yet, no worries. You can just make some changes by the elements. This is one of my favorite things to do. I'm like, I need some fire. When's my next fire moon? Okay, so then we go to the chart of the now, which you can see this at astro.com or astro-seek.com or luna.com, a bunch of places. So here we are right now. I'm gonna make it a clock so it'll actually change time for us. We are currently in Virgo, Sun, Virgo, Mercury. We had Kazemi yesterday, mwah, beautiful. We had our eclipse yesterday, also with the moon in Pisces. This moon is moving, the moon moves very predictably, 12 and a half, 13 degrees a day. So the moon will be done with a sign every 2.5 days. So the moon's like, just fast. The moon goes all the way around the chart wheel in a month. And technically 13 times a year, which is why we should have a year that is measured by the lunar calendar, because then we wouldn't have leap years and months with raggedy number of days. And I have notes. I have so many notes, but nobody asked me. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We can adapt. There's a lot of weird things we adapt to. Just saying. All right. So the moon in a day and a half going to be in Aries. So if I know I need some fire, all I got to do is look at when is the moon going to be in fire. And the moon is going to be in fire. I'm going to go ingress. When does the moon get into fire? August 29th at 7:37 p.m. Pacific. Phew. So I just need to hang on. And if you're wondering why it jumped over to here, it's because the time of day also changed the rising sign, which is why the moon is now over here. It didn't move backwards. It's just the rising sign changed the way the chart was oriented by the houses. Anyway, our moon in Aries will take place Saturday night. And when that happens, we're going to get, okay, there's some fire energy that we can tap into. So just knowing when the elements are going to be met by the moon is enough to get you practiced at asking yourself or bringing in for yourself some of the things that you need by element. And so under your fire moons, this is when you can tap into your passion. It's when you can be motivated. It's time when you do things that turn you on, and everything else, no thank you. During earth moons, this is when we actually get things done. We roll up the sleeves, we put in the work, we get those deliverables going. We can also connect with nature and our health and our body more. You see me do a lot of like self-hug and remind myself that I'm in a body. I have to. I have so much air in my chart. I have to remind myself I'm in a body because the air thinks it's just brain. And I mean, it is. And body is an inconvenient side effect of being human, according to most of the things that are in my brain. So because I don't have a lot of earth in my chart, I gotta remind myself I'm in a body. Let's do body things. So that's great. Earth moons will help you do that. Air moons will help you get things going in conversations. If you are partnered with someone who does not like to talk, I have someone who has no air in his chart. There's very little air in his chart. His Venus is in Aquarius. That's it. No air in his chart, but his Venus in Aquarius explains why me, because of course. If I know I need to have him talking about anything. I make sure to plan to take our dog on a walk during an air moon with an agenda of the things that I want to like just kind of put out there, and then he will start talking, and then he talks more during air moons than any other time, and it's great because I can finally find out what the hell's going on in there. If though you are trying to have a meeting with a group of people and you need to be the one leading the meeting and they need to quit butting in and saying things, don't schedule it during an air moon, because the air moon means everybody's got ideas and everybody's got to share them, or at least they're easier to access. It's easier to access. Wrong word. Water moons, this is when you trust your gut, you feel your emotions, you let yourself cry, you tap into whatever it is that needs to be wrung out if you carry on too much of other people's emotions. For every single water moon, I do a dry brushing and then a soak in the tub, and then I use a Sphere and Sundry oil to anoint myself after I get out of the tub and put a protective layer on so that I don't pick up too much of other people's energy and emotional hitchhikers. And that's just something that I do every water moon, which means I'm doing it, 3-4 times a month, depending on where the signs fall month-wise. But you're always going to get each element 3 times in a month. So it's a wonderful opportunity to explore how these make you feel. And then I also have notes here on what to do during the new moon, what to do during the full moon. During eclipses, all you do is cover your crystals and be in a place of gratitude. Don't do your spell work under eclipses unless you are advanced and know what you're getting into. Okay, so here's what we know so far. We got our signs in the life car. We got our elements in the life car. We got our modalities in the life car, but we really didn't get into that, and that's fine. We're not going to really explore via modality for this work today. But if that's something that you're into, you know that. Like my life car is all cardinal. All 3 of them are leaders. Great. How do you get 3 leaders to go anywhere? Well, don't worry. We're going to go, because if someone wants to take a break from leading, we got 2 other leaders in the car. Somebody's always going to lead. Okay. Ruling planets in the life car, that was the last thing we did before we got into the elements. And now I want you to consider this. What's the mood in the life car? What is the mood in your life car? If you had to sum it up with a word or a phrase, mine would be chatty and sentimental. Yeah, that's the mood in my life car. What's the mood in your life car? Let me know. Everybody arguing in the car, says little tiny soprano, because Saturn, Venus, Mars. Yeah. Saturn and Mars going, I'm the baddest. No, I'm the baddest. I'm the wickedest. I'm the wickedest. And Venus is like, whatever, y'all. I'm cute. Saturn driver, Venus guide, Jupiter in the back seat. Oh, Jupiter in the back seat. Jupiter is impossible to ignore. Jupiter's like fatal attraction. I will not be ignored, Dan, but Jupiter's not going to kill your bunny. Spoiler alert for fatal attraction. Anyway, no, Jupiter's just so big. Jupiter cannot be ignored because big. Big, big, big. Excellent. Oh no, you just figured out that your other possible chart ruler is also in fall. Can't get away from it. See, I mean, isn't astrology amazing like that? Like, no matter what, you are going to have a chart ruler in fall. Like, that is built in chart harmony to do. Like, you've got a planet to do remediation around no matter what. I love this. I've learned to love my cappy placements and strong Saturn in Aquarius. Venus Aquarius too. Okay, so you and my hubs. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, learning to love ourselves is one of the reasons we learn astrology, is because, well, here's the worst thing about astrology is it made me forgive my asshole brother. That's the worst part of astrology, because he doesn't deserve to be forgiven. But saw his chart and I went, fuck. Fine. Now I understand him and I forgive him, but he's still a dick. I know. But astrology hopefully helps us forgive ourselves, love ourselves, lean into the things that we have that are gifts that we may not fully appreciate because of where they're kind of tucked away in our charts, and mitigate some of the painful things that other parts of our chart may do because they are so extra. And we can do some work with that. Okay, awesome. The mood is tense, chatty, upbeat, or moody, broody. Yeah. I feel like the earthy front seat is depressing / oppressing the fire moon. I don't know how to put it in a word. Grounded, too serious. Yeah, wet blanket. Like, not that they're water signs, but they're like a Debbie Downer for your fire. Like, your fire's back there trying to have fun, and the Earth's like, wah, wah. Thankfully, Capricorn is more result-oriented than process-oriented. As long as the end result happens, I'm good. Amen. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Okay, Sag Sun, Leo Moon, Cancer Rising. Excellent. Love it. So you got a fire car, but you're being driven by that nervous moon, that nervous Cancer. Oh, Cancer Risings. Cancer Risings got a driver of that life car that's like, oh, I don't know. Am I going too fast? Should I be in the other lane? That was a big 18-wheeler. Oh my gosh. It's so rude. That Cancer Rising has so much, like, needs to be in bubble wrap. Oh, that Cancer Rising. Yes. Okay, did that do it, Lizzie? Okay, good. Yeah, okay, right on. Forgiveness means they don't live rent-free in your energy or body. Of course, Lisa, of course. Yes. But it was astrology that helped make that happen. So, all right, now that we've done mood, what's the playlist in your life car? What are we listening to? Do you have anything you could listen to that your entire life car is going to enjoy? Or does somebody like just have to commandeer the radio, or is each one in their own earbuds? That Leo backseat driver that one of y'all has is seriously belting out show tunes no matter what anybody else is doing. Just like, it's karaoke all the time. There is no music. Cappy said no. Aw. I think Cappy might like some of those like frequencies, those solfeggio tones, the those miracle tones, things like that, or maybe some drums. Like Saturn really likes drums. That could be good. My birthday is June 28th, so I have to see what mine is. Yep. Sag Moon probably brought their own. Yep. Broadway musical. Yep. I believe that. Grandma J, good to see you. Sad rock music, maybe. Not sad rock. Emo rock. Yes, I love it. Lo-fi beats, I think, would make everyone happy. Yeah, I agree. I think so for you, Soprano, definitely. Gemini's all over the place and in charge of the music. And so it's constantly like, click, click. No, I don't want to hear that song. Click. I don't want to hear that song. Click. I don't want to. Oh, that song's good. Sing about half a verse. Okay, next song. Click, click, click. Because it's what else is on. Gemini. What else is on? Yes. Venus in Aquarius assures it's different. Yes. Instrumentals are allowed. Okay, good. Sometimes, if completely on vibe. Okay, good. All right. I'm all right with that. Okay. What are the priorities? Are the priorities getting there on time? Having the best route? Having great conversations along the way? Stopping for great snacks? Shopping at gift shops along the way? Instagramming the whole damn trip? Venus? Why has everything got to be an Instagram shot? Why has everything got to be perfect, camera ready? I know. Why is this car, the whole car is a Instagram boyfriend? Why? Yeah, that's totally what happens. Yep. Yes. Excellent. Priorities shift depending on which of the occupants of the car we look at, right? Okay. What's missing? We talked about that. The missing element is the easiest way to take a look at what's missing. All right. Here come the outers, y'all. What about the outers? We've been going for more than an hour, and now we're at the outers. Yes, we are probably going to have an astrology podcast length live stream. I'm kidding. I am not capable of doing a 4-hour live stream. Maybe I am. I just don't. That's a long time. I love the astrology podcast, but my God, do they have some long episodes? And I'm like, can this episode be an email? This is really long. I like a 20-minute YouTube video, a 20-minute watch that I watch on double speed, maybe 1.8 speed, but this is long. And we're talking about the outers. In the world of the outers, we have Scorpio, not ruled by Mars, but instead ruled by Pluto. We have Aquarius, not ruled by Daddy Saturn, but ruled by Uranus. We have Pisces, not ruled by Jupiter, but ruled by Neptune. Okay. We're about to do some layering on of where that works and where it might not. And I want you to leave room for it to be a little bit of both. So if you prefer my cuties to the glyphs, here are my cuties. So if we say Scorpio is not ruled by action, passion, cut a bitch Mars, but is instead ruled by transformation, generational change, Tower card, burn it to the motherfucking ground, and then start over, that tracks. And having known a few Scorpios, like my asshole brother, yeah, I could see that rulership being accurate. Okay. All right. No notes yet. Aquarius, if not ruled by Daddy Saturn, who says rules, boundaries, structure, no, limits, abstinence, container. But instead Uranus is the housewife who pre-flighted, pre-cocktailed, and then came to the dinner party and walked in, looked around, and said, I'm going to flip a table. Which one's it going to be? Uranus is here to disrupt. Uranus is here to create chaos. Uranus is here to find a place where we're not free and then break shit so we can become free. Okay. Earlier I talked about Aquarius being the rebel kid of Daddy Saturn. If ruled by Uranus, it's less of a rebellion against the ruler and more of a that tracks. Okay. And then Pisces ruled by Jupiter says there is no such thing as time because we are infinite. There is no such thing as worrying that it won't happen because we're never done, because time is always, and we're consistently living on multiple timelines in multiple dimensions simultaneously. So this human experience that is required of everybody else for some reason is very limiting, and Pisces is like, I'm not into that. We lose that if we go away from Jupiter and we go to Neptune, and with Neptune we get, Neptune is the magic 8 ball, and every time you pick it up, it's reply hazy, try again later. So you put it down, do some other things, go back, pick it up, shake it, reply hazy, try again later. Later. Reply hazy, try again later. Neptune is always stuck on reply hazy, try again later. Neptune is the actor planet, the liar, the storyteller, the mysterious, cloudy. It's never going to really be clear here. Yeah, okay, that's all Pisces also. That's definitely all Pisces also. Okay, all right. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Does anybody here have a situation where you're going, I'm gonna go with some outers? This fish girl is exhausted. Yeah, Jay, I bet. So your driver and navigator are both on this list. All right. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. I love how much fun you're having. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Libra and Aries definitely taking all the pics together while Cap is driving. That's good. I'm glad they have each other. Priorities. I'm imagining a Venn diagram, but I don't know if there's anything common. So it's got the potential to be a Venn diagram, but right now it's just circles. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Tempered between adventure and reliability. Okay, so like allowing an adventure as long as we get there reliably. Okay, love it. Love it. Good. Okay, excellent. So are you willing to experiment with using an outer? We're gonna play with it. We talked about the vibe of your life car before. Now let's check the vibe of your chart ruler. So this is the ruler of your ascendant, the ruler of the driver of the life car. So as I've said before, the moon, which is also a passenger in your life car, but if the moon is the ruler, if you have Cancer rising, your priorities, your vibe is all about how we get our needs met and how we feel safe, which is why that driver, that Cancer rising driver, can be nervous, because that's a lot to carry while also trying to drive and feeling everybody's feelings, because the moon feels everybody's feelings, and that's a lot. Remember, the moon has no light of her own. She only reflects back light from the sun, and so she requires staying plugged in with everybody else in order to pick up that light. That's the only way she can be seen. So that's a big energy management situation for everybody who's got Cancer placements at all, but especially if it's your chart ruler. If Mercury is your chart ruler, well, they're ready to chat, they're ready to change, they're ready to like, JK, I thought I was going this direction, now I think I'm going to go over there, and I'm also going to notice all the details because I rule all of that. So sometimes I'm going to be like Virgo, where I notice everything and I'm going to point out some of the things that need to be healed over here. And sometimes I'm like Gemini, which is I notice, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm over here sampling something else now because that bored me. Mercury's got that situation for a vibe. So that's for our Gemini and our Virgo risings. For our Taurus and Libra risings, we've got Venus as the chart ruler, which is magnetic, love, money, enoughness, values, valuables, all of that stuff. Magnetizing, pulling things to you, attracting them to you rather than going out and getting. It's very different from where Mars says, I got to go out and get that thing. Venus is going to say, I'll just hang here and it's going to come to me, because that's how it works. If you have Leo rising, you are ruled by the sun, and it feels like being around you and being on your road trip is a vitamin shot, because that's it. Because is my puppy here? Oh, you are the sweetest. We have to take a moment to appreciate that sweet puppy. Speaking of Gemini, hi, Bubba. Yeah, I know. I'm on a long time today. I know. You're so sweet. Okay, I'll give you a good scritch on the backside. Yeah, you love that one. Okay. He had an itch. Okay. But the sun as your ruler, Leo rising, yes, that is very much feeling important and always being looked at. Sometimes you don't want to be looked at. Yes, you can be an introvert and also Leo, and so that's a lot of eyes on you all the time, constantly, and like, oh, hey, sometimes I need time off. Nope, you don't get time off. You're the sun. The sun is always on, never retrogrades. Nope. The sun is the center of everything, and it is. Mars as your ruler. So okay, here's where we're going to do our little. Do you want to go modern or do you want to stick traditional? So this is Aries, Mars ruler. Scorpio could be Mars, could go over to Pluto. So we'll do those together. So with Mars, that's the warrior. I'm here to cut a bitch. Let's go. I am here for passion. I've got some fire. I'm motivated. We're going to take some action. Pluto says, I am the Tower card. And that's not actually its correspondence for people who do tarot and astrology, that it's Pluto and the Tower card are not related. So I probably should stop using this reference, but it's just so good for me when I imagine what is Pluto doing. Pluto is Tower carding everything. It's like, what can I burn to the motherfucking ground so that we don't have this mess anymore? And we're still very definitely in the Pluto return of the United States of, oh God, transforming everything. And of course, Scorpio is the sign of transformation. Scorpio in body astrology rules everything that goes into the body one way and goes out of the body another way. That is transformation. It is absolutely what Pluto and Scorpio are all about. So, but again, of course, because Pluto was given qualities based on Scorpio needing to go there. So there's also that. So just again, keep that in mind when we're dealing with modern astrology. It's not the thema mundi in the natural division of things. It is an assignment, but that's okay. It's okay. We already said at the very beginning, we can change things. We can experiment. Jupiter as your ruler, that's going to be for our Sagittarius for sure, and then this is where we get an asterisk for Pisces, because Pisces drops down to Neptune in modern rulership, so we'll do those together. Jupiter says glitter for everyone, and then more. Jupiter is the friend that if you go out drinking and you are fall down drunk, Jupiter's like, more shots, because Jupiter has no discernment whatsoever. Jupiter is here for a good time. Jupiter is here to grow, to have adventures, to experience things on a never-ending timeline of foreverness. So there's all the optimism of what could possibly happen, and lots of bling, lots of glitter, because celebrate, yes. Now, Pisces, if we go with modern rulership, steps over to Neptune, which is, again, reply hazy, try again later. But it's a storyteller. It's a deception artist. It is a magician. It is an actor. It is, I've got a story to tell, and it's going to be not quite what you expected. And when I say, no, you can trust me, I'm telling the truth, unless that's not true. That's very much how that works. Daddy Saturn, if that's your chart ruler, so again for Capricorn and asterisk Aquarius, because Aquarius under modern astrology would go to Uranus. Daddy Saturn, all about systems, shoulds, shame. Like if you're feeling shame about something, Daddy Saturn is involved. If you are feeling like you should do something, Daddy Saturn is involved. And so I go, I do plenty of Daddy Saturn remediation already. I do lots of chart harmony with Daddy Saturn because I will feel a should. And I'll go, okay, Saturn, you want my attention. Let's, instead of me shoulding on myself, let me come up with what I could also do to connect with Saturn and then free myself up from these shoulds. Because I know if I'm going, you should, I'm craving some Saturn connection, and I can get some Saturn connection in a lot of other ways. We're going to get into what some of those ways are in just a little bit. Uranus, modern ruler for Aquarius. Or am I not free? Let's shake it up. Let's shake it up. Let's flip some tables. Let's break it. Okay, so with that in mind, we can also consider the pace of your chart ruler. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the time here. The reason I included this slide is because if you have a Saturn chart ruler, or the ruler of your driver of your life car, if you are Capricorn rising or Aquarius rising using traditional rulership, you may have goals, especially if your sun is faster. If your sun is something like Mercury, ruled by Mercury, if your sun is like Gemini or Virgo, or if your sun is Libra or Taurus, ruled by Venus, you've got a peppier, faster navigator, and your driver is ruled by Saturn and going slow, which could make you really impatient because you are navigating on this map that you know we could get there in 2 hours, and Saturn's rulership is making this drive take decades. And so this is another of the things that can cause a relationship in your life car of we don't really get along, we don't kiki all that well because of timing issues. So this is also where that moon as the ruler of a Cancer rising, driver of the life car, is like, I am changing constantly. I am in each sign for 2.5 days. I go through all the signs in less than a month. And that's like a lot of fast energy. And if the navigator is something like Saturn, because you have a Capricorn sun or an Aquarius sun, you could find that there's a lot of criticism from your sun to your rising about how fast they keep needing to go. And it's like, slow down, and the moon can't. And it's not that the moon is going fast, it's that the moon is changing fast. So the pace is something to consider. And I included a link up here because if you are more of a visual person for this, I wanted to make it so you could see. Let me give this. We want to move this tab to a new window. I want to give you this. Yes, okay, there. This, planetary cycles, how long does a planet stay in a sign? This is from Astro-Seek, Astro-Seek, and the link specifically I will put in the description when I edit it for timecode later, but this is where you can look up through this cute little graphic how long anything is in a sign, and how, like, if in this case this was during a time that Venus retrograded in Leo, that's the best place because my Venus is in Leo, and that meant I got to have my Venus, my chart ruler, return for like 4 freaking months. Anyway, you want to take a look at how long it takes for your ruler to go through signs and how long it spends in certain signs. These are things that could be very, very helpful for you in learning how to, we won't look at Chiron for rulership, Pluto, if we're going with that for Scorpio, it would be like, wow, yes, it does feel like it takes an entire era. It feels like it takes, like over here, 31 and a half years to go through something. Like, yes, it is taking forever for this to happen. And that is part of why that feels like a good rulership match to me. You know, that's possible. So consider that if you have a chart ruler that is slower than you would like it to be, that is a request for some chart harmony. That is a request for some planetary remediation to help that chart ruler pick up the pace a little bit, or show you some results sooner, even if we're not there yet, to maybe have some checkpoints along the way. This is where, like with Saturn, we can use every sign change as a check-in point, because that at least happens every 2-3 years, but also a Saturn square. Saturn is in a square to himself, every 7 years, and that's why we have the 7-year itch. That is a Saturn square. Relationships are challenging at 7 years because Saturn has done a quarter of a full run, and that's when we check in and go, are we good? Do we even like each other? Is this working? Do we want to like cut bait maybe? Those are all things. And so just so you know what the timing is how long it is for that planet to do a cycle, and how long it is in each sign is the part that's parenthetical. So consider that as well when you are considering your rulership and whether you want to go with the outers. Because back to the outers, we can also see the outers as higher octaves of other planets. And it's not just like in Scorpio, Pluto is a higher octave of Mars. Well, you go, yeah, because Pluto took Scorpio away from Mars, and therefore it's just the same but different. That's the only one that's doing this. The higher octave thing is only Pluto to Mars with rulership. Because Aquarius going to Uranus is actually a higher octave of Mercury. So Mercury loves to be a trickster. Mercury loves to be headed in one direction and then change things up. Mercury loves to prank people. Mercury uses they, them pronouns. Mercury is all about the changing it up, not being what's expected. Ha ha, got you, that was funny. Not taking anything all that seriously. Uranus is a higher octave in that it does take it a little more seriously, but also Uranus uses they, them pronouns, constantly changing, looking actively for what can I break here so that we can get free, and changing things up with a purpose, which is why it's a higher octave of Mercury, because Mercury is sometimes just changing things up for jokes, just for the gram. And then when we take a look at Neptune, as the ruler for Pisces rather than Jupiter, we actually are getting a higher octave of Venus, so the other benefic. So Venus is saying, I'm never late, I'm always worth the wait, it looks good, therefore I feel good. Venus says, I want this meal to be Instagram worthy, not because it needs to be for Instagram, but because why would I bother setting a plate if it's not beautiful? Why would I bother being in an environment if it's not pleasing to the eye and all the senses? And Neptune says, I like things to feel good, and because I like things to feel good, sometimes I'll just choose to escape. Sometimes I'm just gonna like peace out and take whatever kinds of pharmaceuticals or otherwise that I enjoy, because I don't really need to be around here. Here's not real anyway, so I'm gonna make it feel good, and therefore that's a higher octave of Venus. And also Neptune's not in any kind of hurry to get anything done, because there's not anything to do. And so does that higher octave resonate and give you yet another way to look at these outers in a more personal way? And the reason we're spending so much time on this specifically is because we always just put the outers out as generational planets. And as generational planets, they're operating for an entire generation. It takes forever to see what it is that they do. So we don't really consider them in the ways that we consider the planets that we know better. Like, we all know Mercury really well, even if Mercury rules nothing in our charts. If we have an empty Gemini house and an empty Virgo house and no relationship with Mercury to speak of, I mean, Mercury's in our chart somewhere, obviously, but we don't have anything that's ruled by Mercury in our chart, so we don't really know Mercury all that well in our chart. We still all know Mercury because we all celebrate Mercury retrograde. And even if we don't celebrate Mercury retrograde, we're all affected by Mercury retrograde. Everybody's heard the phrase Mercury's retrograde. Like, you know, there's a whole website out there that is, is Mercury retrograde.com. Is Mercury retrograde.com. No. Something else must be bumming you out. Nothing's bumming me out. I just wanted to use the site because I love it. I think this is a genius use of internet space. Mercury turns retrograde on, so it's also, this is usually it was just the word no or yes, but now they've added like actual dates and things to look forward to, so that's fun. We know Mercury. So because we know Mercury, maybe this helps us get to know Uranus a little better. And I think we're all going to get very clear on what Uranus is all about while Uranus is in Gemini, a Mercury-ruled sign. We're already getting a lot of that experience. You know, there's that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Essential Dignity table, which I'm going to share with caution. So let me check the chat before I do that. All right. Love that example on Convos with Daddy Saturn. Daddy Saturn is in a very interesting place in my chart, Lizzie. Like here, interestingly, speaking of family patterns, I was born during my mom's nodal return. So my mother, the astrologer, and I share North Node, South Node. I was born during her age 37 nodal return. And I just had my age 55 nodal return a couple months ago. And my brother, not asshole brother, other brother, died on my nodal return, which I found poetic, interesting, because that's also then, of course, his mother's nodal return is also when he died. And I'm like, that tracks. I like that. I like that for them. They're hanging out together now more than before. But also, Saturn was on my mom's sun when I was born. So my mom's sun was 20 degrees Taurus. And so my Saturn over there in the eighth house is a death house, among other things. My mom's been dead for a big chunk of my life. She died when I was far too young to lose a parent, but that happens when you're an oops baby and your parents thought they were done having kids, and then oops, we have a baby. Then your parents are a little older than other people's parents, and sometimes you have one that goes young also, as I did. So I'm like, yeah, that Saturn is my mom. Like, that Saturn in the eighth house was her sun, therefore that's my mom. And so I know when I'm doing work to connect with Saturn, I'm also healing stuff with my mom. But the relationship with Saturn in my chart, there are some very interesting connections that cause me to have regular conversations with Daddy Saturn and to do things that are full-on planetary remediation. Let me see if I can find easily something to show y'all that those of you who've been with me for a while have seen before. Pinwheel of Death, always Pinwheel of Death. When click on things on while we're streaming. I know, computer. I know you're going, why do you need to search for something? Just cause. Hang on. If anyone is listening and going, oh God, the chat stalled, it didn't. I'm just looking for something that I was hoping I could find easily. I'm not finding it. I know where I can go to find it. Okay, I'm going to give one last place to check. Oh, and I don't even have to go anywhere. I can go right here on my site. And I can go to Mischief. There. That. This cute little thing right here, I commissioned by an artist called Author of Mischief. And that is my chart ruler Venus in her frilly pink panties and her pearls and her flowers in her hair, teaching about gold bars and stacks of coins and bags of money and gems. My daddy Saturn in the 8th house, the house of other people's money, in addition to death and sex and shadow work and entrepreneurship. Bless you, puppy. Daddy Saturn says no, because Daddy Saturn starts on a no. And she's saying, hey, Daddy Saturn, since you are in Taurus, which is a sign I rule, Venus, I would like to teach you about ways that you could be open to receiving more money from unexpected sources, because 8th house, other people's money. You don't get to control how the money comes in over here or goes out largely. And so could I interest you in at least having a conversation and not just starting on a no? I would really like to open that up. And so I commissioned this art to have Saturn saying, maybe. And what I love is that Author of Mischief put Daddy Saturn in some frilly Venus green colored panties. Look at that. Saturn's more open to it than we thought. I love this so much. I love this so much. This is chart harmony. This is planetary remediation. Commissioning a piece of art that helps a relationship in your chart change in ways that make you feel better. Like this, I smile every time I see this. And I'm going to make sure that this is labeled better and in my folder so that I don't have to go looking for it for quite so long next time. But think about that. We're going to go into Essential Dignity, which is a complicated, complex thing. And we've been going for an hour and a half. So take a hydration break if you've been powering straight through, like those of us on this live. Get some hydration. Okay, Grandma J, feel better. 7-year relationship. That's the length of the only long-term relationship I've ever had. Yeah, Lizzie, as a Venus-ruled person, every relationship before my current partner, with whom I've been for now 25 years, April was 25 years that we started up, met in person, because we met online, met in person July 13th of 2001, so 25 years. All of my relationships before him, 18 months max, 18 months, and usually more like 9 months. Because I'm like, and those are Venus cycles, and I'm like, not Venus making every relationship need only 18 months or 9 months to tell me if it's going to work or not. Oh my God. And I was so sure that Keith would be out by the time we hit 9 months, 18 months. I told him, I was like, yeah, come on, move to LA, come move in with me, bring all your shit. Let's do this, but just be prepared. You're going to be gone in a couple years, because that's just what I do. And he's like, oh, I can't wait till you die and I can put on your tombstone, here lies Bonnie Gillespie, finally wrong. Isn't he adorable? I'm not going to be buried. I'm going to be all my things donated and then cremate and let it go. But he knows he also is not going to be buried. There will be no tombstones, because that's a practice that is evolving out of happening. That's another story for a generational conversation. But anyway, I don't know that I'll be wrong ever. And also, he thinks he's going to outlive me. He doesn't know how many murder shows I watch. I'm just saying, if ever we're in a bad way, I will watch a murder show with the volume turned down a little too low, because then that makes him nervous. He's like, what is she Just kidding. I don't take advice from murder shows. Those are about people who got caught. No, of course not. I'm not, oh my God, I've just said this word like 10 times now, and I think YouTube punishes you when you say unalived, which is why so many people say unalived instead of whatever. I can't keep up with YouTube's rules. But thank you for watching. Please have me on somewhere all the time, because I'm trying to reach my watch hours before the change February 1st of 2027. And because if I don't reach my watch hours, like it's like 4,000 watch hours in a year, and I tend to average about 2,500 in a year. So I'm trying to get my watch hours up between now and end of January, because if I don't get there by the time they double to 8,000, I'm never going to get monetized again. And I lost my monetization when I took a mental health break from YouTube back in 2021, 2022. By the way, also please engage with channels that use no AI. Please subscribe, like, save, share, comment, watch again. Celebrate and engage with those of us who are run by humans and no AI. Thank you. Lifetime movie. That's what I need, a Lifetime movie. Yes, that's it. That's it. You have Venus opposing Saturn. Manger, please feel free to use. Please feel free. Yes. On the mismatched speed between driver and navigator, how would you interpret the reverse when the navigator is slower than the driver? Yeah, so that means the driver is making the navigator nervous about, no, this is supposed to take time. This is supposed to, you're getting there too fast. We're not ready. Is that kind of what the dynamic is, Manger? Let me know. And I realize Manger is not how we say your name, because I've now looked at what your whole name is, and it's manger fromage. He's French, no? Yeah, I'm quick like that. Oh, Mercury, your Kazemi didn't help me at all with that one. I'm going Manger, Manger, Manger. And it's because the first thing I saw was manager, because my book is self-management for actors. So, of course, yes, I know, sweet puppy. I've been on for so long. I know. You're so ready for some attention. I know, baby. I know. He's like, you're never on this long, Mommy. I know. Go to your spot. Up. Come on. Go to your spot. He's like, no, I want. He just jumped up and kissed my hand. He's like, I want to play. All right. Get ready, y'all. Strap in. We're going to do essential dignities. And this is where it is very important to note essential dignities for the outers is not agreed upon by people. I chose to use Judith A. Hill's list of essential dignities for the outers. Don't come at me. Don't come at Judith. Don't come at anybody. This is an area where we are fluctuating, changing, making shifts. It is what it is. Allow for the essential dignities to be a work in progress. And I mean, I would say don't come at me in the comments, but please come at me in the comments, because it really helps with my engagement. Oh my God, there's somebody fighting with me on one of my shorts. I have a short that blew up about the Stephen Forrest situation. I have a whole playlist about the Stephen Forrest situation featuring mostly non-white people talking about the Stephen Forrest situation, because that's really who we need to be listening to right now. If you're not aware of the Stephen Forrest situation, you can just Google Stephen Forrest situation. You will land on it. You will find out. But on my short that has a couple thousand views, I got a bunch of cis, het, white, bro dudes and robots. I got bots. All telling me I'm part of the woke police and trying to stir me up. And I was like, oh, I want to mute this person. I want to block this person. I want to delete this comment. And then I went, no. Thank them. They are helping with the engagement. And the more that they engage, the more the video gets out into the algorithm, and it gets out into their people's algorithm. And we want that, because we want those watch hours, because, YouTube's changing things. So yes, please come at me about these essential dignities that I'm going to share. I made my username when I was taking my first French class, and I love cheese. Who doesn't, right? Fabulous. One time I used an I have Pit with me, but all 500 plus videos are me and my pets or real people. Come on. That is adorable. Aw, cute. Cute, Manger, cute. I guess pessimism on the navigator's part when the driver actually can get somewhere fast. That's how I thought of it. Yeah, that could feel like a depressive relationship. It could feel like, why do you keep slowing me down? Why do you keep trying to change how I'm driving instead of allowing us to come together? This is back at the very, very beginning when I showed the relationship grid of the elements and the modalities and how some signs don't have anything in common with other signs. This is where, if those rulers don't play nice together, we're gonna need to do some things that help them connect with one another, support one another, because they're all in the same chart. In our natal charts, all this shit's together, and all this shit needs to figure out how to work together, even if it's in a relationship that looks problematic. For example, I don't know if you've noticed how many things I have squaring other things. According to astro.com, I have 15 natal squares. That's a lot. That's the most I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody have more natal squares than I have in my in my chart. I have 15 natal squares, and of course I'm disappointed, because if you were going to have 15 natal squares, why not 16? It's right there, because 16 is 4 squared. That would be a square number of squares. Just missed opportunity. And my Virgo 12th house really hates that. My Virgo South Node really, really hates that. It was right there. It could have been clever. But anyway, I don't want the squares to be problematic. So what I started doing was realizing that the squares are how I get my fire, because I have no real fire in my chart helping me get motivated. So what motivates me is problem solving, and squares are problems to solve. I got lots of problems to solve. They're all in my birth chart. All these problems to solve could be seen as problems in life, but instead I've chosen to see them as how I get my fire. So how can you do some reframing around the relationship between your driver and your navigator that would be like that? Or could you do some chart harmony or planetary remediation, commissioning a piece of art, creating an altar that puts them together on the altar and allows them to get to know each other with some of the things that they each rule? All right, essential dignity. Don't come at me. Come at me for the algo. Come at me, come at me. Judith Hill is the asterisk in these 3 here. But if you do not know about essential dignity and what it all means, I will link in the description when I edit for Timecode later a live stream that I did on essential dignities, and it's, I think, called Chart Privilege. Like, do you have chart privilege? Something like that. Why can't we get along? Things like that. There are signs in which certain planets struggle. So this is all we're going to do here. Domicile means this is the ruler. So the moon rules Cancer, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, Venus rules Taurus and Libra, and so on. Got it? And then I went ahead and put Aquarius under Saturn, but then I also put Aquarius down here with Uranus, because I want to cover both traditional and modern rulership in this one graphic. This one graphic was made during Avoidance Alley, hosted by B. Skolnick, which, if you guys do not already have the Witch's Book of Numbers, if you're numerology people, you need the Witch's Book of Numbers by Rebecca Skolnick, and also you need to be in her Beehive community, subscribing to her content. She is amazing. Her work is amazing. Her community is amazing. And during her community this morning, Avoidance Alley, where we do the things we've been avoiding, I was like, I'm going to try and finish my slides. And I didn't finish, but I got like seriously almost done. You will see when we get to the later slides, we're still not even halfway through the slides. Holy shit. There are going to be some slides that you're like, Bonnie, oh my God, that does not match doesn't match the font, doesn't match the colors. I know, because I pulled it in from an old webinar. Anyway, domicile just means ruler, ruler, ruler. Exaltation, that's the Beyonce placement. When a planet is in its sign of exaltation, it means it is expected to be perfect. And it often is. It is where they can do the most. It's why I go with the Beyonce placement. Because when Beyonce is on stage, she can do no wrong, because she's got everything she needs to make this spectacular. And she does. She knows her astrology. She also never releases anything without checking with her astrologers first. Track. Okay, so when the moon is in Taurus, that moon is fully appreciating what it is to be Taurus, and Taurus is fully appreciating what it is the moon can do. It is a beautiful relationship when these planets are in these signs. Detriment means the planet struggles in these signs And it struggles because it doesn't have access to the things that it needs to do its work. And so this is a perfect example. The moon in Capricorn, first of all, hustle culture has weaponized Capricorn. Capricorn is misunderstood on so many levels. Capricorn is the pursuit of excellence. Capricorn is, I am excellent, I am good at it, I love competing because I win. But Capricorn is to use the gender binary, a female sign. It is a feminine sign. And it's not, I'll sleep when I'm dead, hustle is more important than sleep. Not at all. But it has been weaponized because our dominant culture loves to reward Mars things, sun things, masculine things, working things, capitalism things, white privilege things. Like, these are just signatures of dominant culture. And Capricorn, by loving to be excellent, will rise to that occasion. Capricorn is in detriment, or the moon is in detriment when in Capricorn, because the moon gets into Capricorn and feels this energy of, I need to work, I need to climb a ladder, I need to excel, I need to perform. And the moon's like, hey, look, if I don't have a lot of light on me right now, my job is not to perform. If I'm in a balsamic phase while I'm in Capricorn, my work is actually to rest. My work is to prune. My work is to go dark. I don't know about this relationship. And so when you have your moon in Capricorn, your moon struggles to get needs met and feel safe because Capricorn doesn't create a nest for it. It creates a standing desk. Again, because much of it has been weaponized by dominant culture, but that's another conversation for another live stream. When a planet is in the sign of its fall, that is one where it not only cannot get to the things that it needs, but it also has suffered reputation hits because of it. It's made fun of because of what it cannot access. It is completely suffering from lack of privilege. And so this becomes well, can I not access tools because I lack privilege, or do I lack privilege because I can't access the tools? And as we know societally, eventually that just becomes the same thing. And so when a planet is in the sign of its fall, it's really struggling. It's very hard for it to get things done. So you heard me earlier talking about my Mars in Cancer. There you go. Mars doesn't like being in Cancer because Mars likes to cut a bitch, and Cancer says, I'm here to make everyone feel safe and everyone feel that their needs are met. And Mars is like, that's not at all what I'm here to do. And so that fit is not fit. So when we get into this bottom part, the outers, these have been bestowed by modern astrologers, and you will find with a quick search of DuckDuckGo, stop using Google, DuckDuckGo, you will find a quick search to show you that other astrologers have different signs that they put here. I just went with what Judith Hill uses in the astrological body types, which is that Uranus is in domicile in Aquarius, it is in exaltation in Scorpio, it is in detriment in Leo, and it is in fall in Taurus. That Neptune is in domicile in Pisces, it is in exaltation in Cancer, it is in detriment in Virgo, and it is in fall in Capricorn. That Pluto is in domicile in Scorpio, exaltation in Aries, detriment in Taurus, and fall in Libra. Do with that what you will. That is the Essential Dignity Adapted Situation by Judith Hill. Okay, we are now going to do some coloring. Now that I've completely poured into your brain more information than you can even hold together, we're going to color. Take a screen grab of this because these are the chart harmony colors, and they are based on planetary day of the week, numerology, the sign the moon is in, the rulers of the signs, the conditions, that's essential dignity, how happy everything is. It's also what they are in aversion from, which is what can they not see. That creates colors. The aspects they create colors. There's a lot that goes into the rulership and colors, and this isn't the only way of doing it, but this is my way. This is the chart harmony way, and I will just state for the record, because I'm always asked, why do you combine the sun and Mars into something orange instead of letting the sun be gold and yellow and letting Mars be red? And the reason is this. The reason is until dominant culture can separate moon and, sorry, I've been talking a long time. Let me have some water. Let me have some water and let me apply some sun oil from Sphere and Sundry. Yes, I have a problem. I have Sphere and Sundry in every room, and I'm not going to talk about how much I spent on it. I haven't bought Sphere and Sundry in years because we've been doing a budget. But when I thought, all the money I have is the money I will have forever, I was buying a lot of Sphere and Sundry. So I have a lot. Okay. Take a moment, ground. Until dominant culture stops rewarding Mars and the sun as one conflated thing, making being seen into being aggressive, making being passionate into being the center of the world, until dominant culture stops conflating that, there's no reason for me to separate them for chart harmony. Because the purpose of chart harmony, aka planetary remediation, is to change up our relationship with things in our chart that might not be where we want them, or to mitigate tough transits using timing techniques. We're about to go into, let's say by perfection, we're about to go into a Jupiter ruled year, and Jupiter in our natal chart is not in great shape, so we want to get Jupiter feeling a little better since Jupiter is going to be ruling this year. Those types of things, timing techniques, transits that we're going through, stuff that's in our natal chart. Yes. Synastry with other people, composite charts, when we connect with someone and there's a way that we just don't get each other, can we get each other through a planet? Is there a planet that can be the conduit between us and in our relationships? Yes, is the answer. So for now, this is the color palette that we work with. And the reason that I want you to have this key is because we will be adding onto it where the outers go, because we're going to experiment with letting the outers be a color. So here's what each of the colors means. Each of the colors means, and I know that sounds like I used the wrong subject verb agreement, but when I say each, that's a singular, means. Each means. I did that right. Take that, AI. I know, yay, coloring. Planets in fall in the first house feels real bad, man. Yeah, Lizzie, it is. It is, but it is just a perfect opportunity to do a lot of chart harmony. If you've got planets in fall in the first house and that affects you physically, that affects your personality, that's how you show up in the world. Yeah. Opportunity to color every day. Opportunity to make it a daily do. Holly, good to see you. As Aquarius being my rising and Pisces being my sun, yes, I agree. Okay. The essential dignity chart is fascinating to me. Like, I just want to know where it came from or how it came to be. But I love this dimension and discussion around it. Lizzie, when I put the link to the Thema Mundi replay in the description, go watch that, because that I cover how the essential dignities were doled out based on the Thema Mundi. It's all part of that theoretical birth chart of the world. It's thousands of years. I want to learn all of this, says Celery Queen. Yay, you've come to the right place. Yay. Oh, right, I'm with you. I don't know. I forgot the term. I don't remember what we were talking about. I have a bunch too. I'll count and get back to you. All the squares, yeah. A lot of bots and imposters. I received message from over 100 pit imposters. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I know, right? I know. Wait, why am I blanking on what essential dignities are? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, just who's more comfortable where. Yep. Wow, y'all chatting a lot. I love it. Thank you so much for chatting. Thank you. I love it. It brings me energy. Okay, y'all, I'm 111. I'm so going to crash out when this is over. This is like the only thing I have scheduled for today, and I'm so glad we're doing this. By the way, this topic was decided upon during my last live stream, which was last week. And during last week's live stream, which was, I don't know what we're going to talk about, come to the chat, tell me what we're going to talk about. We covered whatever we talked about because we didn't have an agenda, and we decided that this was going to be today's live stream. And then I went about doing some research and making some slides and continuing to make slides until 10:55 this morning. And I love knowing what y'all want to cover. So let me know. I go live at least thrice a month, and I think I'm going to kick that up a little bit to try and get my watch hours improved, because I'm told if we're putting something up weekly, that gives a better chance for it. And I'm also going to upload some other content that has been previously shot and see if that helps as well. But anyway, let me know if there's anything in particular you want to cover. I know coming soon I will be talking about Venus retrograde, because that's coming up. I will be talking about we will be doing Chiron part 2, because I still owe y'all that. We did Chiron part 1 with the preview of Chiron and Taurus a couple months back. And I said, I need to do a whole part 2 on natal Chiron. That's coming. What else? I want to do perfections, because we're using Claire Gallagher's new book, Cosmic Year, as our guide in my Mistress Mind with Rachel Lang, called Aligned MCs. We meet once a month. We'd love to have you join us. Let me know if that's of interest to you, because we do have openings if you'd like to join us. It's a small group, and we just do a topic each month, and Q&A, hot seat, whatever you need, we got you. And the weirder the better. We have a lot of fun in there. We're going to be doing our September meeting on annual perfections, and also looking at monthly perfections, and all of that is in Claire's book, so we're using that as a guide. Okay, so now that I have riffed for a minute to let my oil get me infused, and my hydration get topped off yet again, and you've had a chance to look at this lovely slide, and the chat is not updating enough for me to stay here looking at y'all, making sure you have what you need, I'm going to go through this very quickly. The reason we always start with blue is because blue is the hardest thing to get on your calendar. Blue is the hardest thing to get on your calendar. It is challenging to find space for blue in your life. This is why you never see me on a Monday. And I say this having said yes to guest talks in 2 classes for actors in London on Monday, because they meet on Monday nights, and I'm going to zoom in and connect with them on Monday morning here. And I never do Monday things, but this was like, it's people who are using my book. It's a great group. They asked if I could come answer questions and help them work through some of the book stuff. And I'm happy to do that. So I am going to be doing that on Monday. But in general, my Mondays are for sleeping, dreaming, journaling, bubble bathing, getting a massage, going to therapy. Yeah. Like no people, unless those people are in service of me getting the well refilled, which is why massage, therapy, those things. Yes. Black. It's the second hardest to get on a calendar, and black is our declutter, prune, say no, restrict. This is Daddy Saturn. So with blue, we're, by the way, serving the moon. So I know I showed you what they are related to here, but then I talked for a long time, so this is just as a reminder. The moon for blue, black for Daddy Saturn. When we're doing Daddy Saturn things, we are decluttering, we're fasting, we're abstaining, we're working on structure, all that good stuff. So you can do that on Saturday. Saturn's day is Saturday. See how that works? Moon's day is Monday. And even in other languages, like what? Lundi. Is that right? I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and lunes. Yes. A couple. Yes. Many. All right. So Saturday is a great time to do all of the boundaries things. These are very important to Saturn. And the planetary day of the week begins at sunrise where you live. So it was Jupiter's day until sunrise, and then it became Venus's day today. So next, orange. Orange, super easy to get to. It's all over the calendar. It's easy because it's culture. This is be seen, take action, work out hard, get a sweat going, do some tattooing, piercing, hot yoga, feel the burn, just that stuff. I'm making a face while I'm doing it because I'm like, I'm so exhausted. I can't imagine doing any of that stuff. I'm so going to rest. Okay. Then pink. Pink, also easy to come by. Multitasking. This is so the orange, by the way, is Mars and the sun. I referenced earlier how they are conflated, and yes, they are orange together here. And so pink, that's going to be Mercury. So Mercury is taking meetings, multitasking, using Pomodoro technique, doing things that only take 20 minutes, changing your mind, changing your direction. Think like Gemini, think like Virgo's, like all the details, yes, but Gemini is like, where can I change? Where can I change? Mercury loves to change things up, move fast, shift gears. Yes, 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 all of that. But if you're going to be interviewed on a podcast and you're afraid you'll be tongue-tied, say yes to doing it on Mercury's day, Wednesday, because that will have Mercury there with you, taking care of you. And if you're like, shoot, I've got to do it on a Friday, it's Venus's day, how do I fix this? Well, do they have Mercury's hour available? Mercury's hour is a great time to do it, and there are apps for planetary days, planetary hours. There are websites that will show you, but you've got to make sure you set your current time zone because it's different wherever you are. And so like right now, as I am here with you, it is the sun's hour, and that may not be true for you. It is true for Pacific time. We're in the sun's hour on Venus's day. Great way to layer in if I needed to do something action-y on Venus day, and I was like, oh, I so am feeling Venus day Friday. I'm not feeling like I want to take action. Schedule it for during sun's hour or during Mars hour. And those run back to back, which is great because if you need to take action and it needs to last a couple of hours, you've got that. So that's the way you can layer. You can layer all of these. Oh my God, layering is so much fun with this. That was almost the name of this live stream, was Let's Get Layered, but I was like, never mind. Okay, then we've got green for Venus. That is, of course, Friday if we're using planetary days of the week, and that is our money honey. That is also date night. That's also hosting, making a nice place, doing things that are visually pleasing, doing things that make Venus happy, focusing on love, money, enoughness, values, the valuables, all of that good stuff. Magnetizing, letting things pull to you. It's great to do money things on a green day, Venus day, or during Venus hour. But if you're trying to get your budget in check, you want to use black because that helps you get things under control. If you want to manifest, you want green or purple. And purple is, of course, for Jupiter. And Jupiter's day is Thursday. So Jupiter, we're going to get lucky. We're going to win the lottery. We're going to grow. There's going to be magic. We're not going to know where it came from. It doesn't matter. We're going to feel like we can take risks. We're going to feel unstoppable. It's amazing. It's a great time to dream up ideas and then take action on them during other kinds of times. But these are ways to play with this energy and layer it on. And if you are on a budget, don't shop during Jupiter's hour or on Jupiter's day. You will overspend. My husband, who is ruled by Jupiter, and it's not just his rising, he has Sagittarius rising, but he has a Pisces stellium. So he's got Jupiter coming and going. He's Jupiter everywhere. Famous for, we have a fully stocked fridge, and he decides to go just pick up a couple of things and comes home with more than we can fit in the fridge. And I'm like, we are not enough mouths for all the things that you have bought on the timeline that it's going to last. What do we do? And he's like, oh, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, or you could just not Jupiter all over the place. He can't help it. He can't. Jupiter's all over the place. All right, so let's go back to our life car. What color is your life car? What colors are your life car? And let's talk about where we would put the outers when it comes to colors. What you got? What you got? Would love to hear about remedial measures for planets in fall and planets at anaretic degrees. Great. Absolutely. A lot of what we're talking about today can be used in that way. Yeah, Lundi, thank you. Thank you. So what colors are in your life car? I have blue for Cancer and green/pink for Libra. Because if we go back to my list, Libra is on pink for air, even though that's a Mercury situation, but air, all the air signs have pink, and then green for Venus. So I've got some pink and green and blue in my life car, which means I have no black, no orange, no purple in my life car. Orange, pink, and black/purple. Ah, yes. I meant the other colors? What? What did I mean? What did I mean the other colors? Tell me, tell me, tell me. You've got black, green, orange, purple. Awesome. That's a lot of color energy in there. Saturn is black and Sun is orange. You're missing blue and pink. Okay, I like that. So that means doing chart harmony for blue and pink things could feel like you're getting a more well-rounded container around just how you move through life. Or it could feel very foreign. It could be like, why am I spending time doing blue and pink things? I don't like these things. And it can be like, I'm not a morning person because, well, I say I'm not a morning person because my grandmother, the Rosie the Riveter, we talked about a couple of hours ago, she never got up before noon. You did not call her before noon. You did not come to her house before noon. She would leave the door open, so if you needed to come over and get a cup of coffee because you just got off third shift at the factory, you could do that. There's big union family over here. My grandfather, in fact, is in history books as being part of a gang that blew up power lines in a demonstration where they were taking union busting activities in Tennessee back before the unions were in all the steel mills and the copper mines and places that were incredibly unsafe to work in and had no union representation. And he was part of why we do now have union representation. So big union family over here. So there was always a pot of coffee on for people who were coming off third shift from the Ford plant or the any of the many factories in Atlanta around the airport and so forth. But she doesn't get up before noon. I also do not like to get up before noon. The thing that I'm doing with the London people on Monday, which is already Monday's my day off, they asked if we could shift it a couple of hours earlier. And I was like, I already was like, ugh, on saying yes to 10 a.m. No, absolutely no. I'm bringing some black over to that blue and saying no. Because I know I'm no good at certain hours. But then you go, am I no good at certain hours because I keep sleeping in? Or do I keep sleeping in because I'm not good at certain hours? So play with the colors that are not in your life car and see if it feels like medicine or if it feels just like it's ridiculous and you don't want to do it. You've got black, orange, and pink for you. Excellent. So you've got structure, you've got being seen, and you've got chatty chat, 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 chat. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's great. You're missing blue and pink. Right. I saw that one already. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So just for fun, I did mine. There's pink and green for Libra, pink and green for Libra, and blue for Cancer. Those are the colors in my life car. Yep, that tracks. And so then what's missing from my life car? That's what I just asked you to figure out for yourself. What's missing from your life car? What's missing from my life car? Black and orange and purple. No shock that orange is missing. How many times do I have to say I have no fire? I have no fire. I have no fire. And I know that's not true. My chart ruler is up here at 29 freaking degrees of Leo, which means that Venus is sitting on Regulus, fixed star Regulus, which is super powerful. And also, if I turn my extras back on, you will see that my 29 degree Venus in Leo is not only on Regulus, but also my black moon Lilith is 29 degrees Leo. So what I do have is scary AF, which is why I don't tap into it all that much, because that's some powerful fire. That's some powerful fire. But my life car is bopping around over here with no fire. No fire. No optimism. What? No optimism? Yeah, that's why I married this guy. He's got all the Jupiter, all the Pisces, so much purple, and so much orange, Sagittarius rising. Oh my God. And then black. Daddy Saturn and I have a deal. We're working on it. We're working on it. We are working on it. Okay. Also not a morning person. Good. Screw those mornings. I like morning from the night side. And then I'll get up at noon and I'll see morning after the night side again. Oh my God, my Mars is there at 29 Leo. So that means we are good together, Manger. We are good together. When you've got something exact with somebody, especially something that's important in their chart, that's a comfort. Like my husband's moon, my sun is on my husband's moon. And I say that because I have the younger chart, which means when I was born, the sun was on his moon. And so he feels safer with me than he feels with anybody else, and he doesn't feel safe with anybody. See, PTSD, paranoia, diagnosis, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yep. Yes. A Saturn-ruled kiddo with that no line is powerful, though. My no line is definitely powerful, but it's something that I had to work outside in. So you remember we were talking about inside out or outside in. I don't feel like I have a strong Saturn in my chart. I feel like I have a shamey Saturn. I feel like I have a you should have done it this way Saturn. I feel like I have mom issues with my Saturn, because I do. But I don't feel that I have I got too much Libra to have a Saturn that says no. I have a Saturn that says fair. I have a Saturn that says fuck you, pay me. I will do all these things because I love people pleasing, and you will now pay because I am doing things that should be paid for. No. And then if I've not set up a situation where I get paid, I will then have lots and lots of resentment. See, Cancer stellium. So again, those squares in my chart are doing some heavy lifting. Okay, so once you've identified what's missing, you may want to do chart harmony around the stuff that's missing. You may want to not. You may want to just support what's in your life car. Rule number one, just supporting the driver of your life car, aka your chart ruler, which is the ruler of the rising sign, which is the driver of your life car. Just supporting your chart ruler, that one planet, with some chart harmony will make everything feel better in your entire chart. And then you can start working on the stuff that's more granular. But for me, I had to start with Mars because I'm like, my chart ruler's fine. She is very well cared for. Mars is a dick to me. I have got to fix this relationship. So I started with Mars, got Mars to stop cutting me constantly. Then I did some work with Saturn and Venus, that piece I commissioned, among other things. And then I said, all right, Venus, what do you need? And she's like, I'm so glad you brought your attention back over here. I knew you would because I'm attractive like that. I magnetize like that. I pull you in and manifest like that. But you were right. You had to get Mars to stop cutting you because we were never even going to be able to see each other through all the blood. Sorry to be graphic. But I mean, it's a graphic metaphor. It's not actual blood. I mean, sometimes it was. Yes. My Saturn wants to say no, still learning how. Great. So maybe on Saturn's day tomorrow or during Saturn's hour later today, you could do a little something that is like setting up an altar to Daddy Saturn and the ability to say no. A Daddy Saturn altar is super simple. It's very bare bones, and there may be bones on the altar because Daddy Saturn rules the bones. There's a lot of gratitude that you can put around Saturn, like, thank you for showing up and helping me say no. And if you're like, but I'm not even really good at it yet, that's okay. You're thanking Saturn for the times when you are good at it, and that's going to help you get better at it. And yes, a lot of this is placebo effect, but that's okay. A lot of life is the placebo effect. I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced. All right, so let's consider the outers. We're back to the whole point of today's conversation. Does your life car have Scorpio, Aquarius, or Pisces in it? Do the colors of your life car feel more accurate using the outers? Well, we didn't assign the outers color placements in my key. So let's get specific about where we would put them. I would say Uranus, being a higher octave of Mercury, is going to have pink. And because Uranus is taking Daddy Saturn's ruled kid, Aquarius, it's going to have black. So for me, Aquarius is, and therefore Uranus is, a little bit of pink and a little bit of black. And I know I only have Aquarius in pink right here, but I think if I were updating this chart, even just with the signs that are on it, I would give Aquarius a little double duty. I'd put, she said duty, I would put Aquarius over under black as well, because that Daddy Saturn is there. But when it's not Daddy Saturn, when it's Uranus, I think Uranus is pink and black. Pink because higher octave of Mercury. Pink because Aquarius is an air sign, so Aquarius is pink. Black because of that Daddy Saturn structure. But you're like, yeah, but Uranus doesn't have structure. And I'm like, no. Uranus witnesses structure and then saunters over, flips the table. So there's got to be appreciation of structure in order to break it. Uranus has to notice, where am I not free? Well, where am I not free? A place that has strict boundaries. What has strict boundaries? Daddy Saturn, black. I feel good about that. Does anybody have a different color that they would suggest for Uranus? We're going to do Neptune next and then Pluto. What do you think? What do you think? Do you like that? Do you like Uranus as pink and black? I think we're going with that. Do I have any more water? I do. I wondered the other day, I was like, Keith, my eyes are so dry. What's going on? And I'm like, part of it, eclipse, dehydration, yes. And he said, yes, but also I've been living in here since the temperature spiked a month and a half ago, which usually I only have to stay in here for like a week at a time, use the air conditioner, because the rest, we have really great insulation and we face the beach. So when there's no cloud cover, that part of the apartment bakes. We're on the top floor, we're beach facing, we have great insulation, which means as soon as it gets warm, we hold the heat in, and often when we go outside, it's cooler outside than it is inside. So we close this off and do a window AC in here, and I'll live in here for a week when it's too hot. It has been too hot for 6 weeks now. I have not left this room. Our power bill is going to be like $300 because that has not stopped running. But he said this light diffuser that you have here bouncing off the building next door, which is, it might as well be white, it's whatever color it is that's close enough, is like burning your little blue eyes. So, and I was like, my vision is suffering, like things are hard to see. And he's like, yes, because your brain is trying to shut down how much light is getting into your eyes because it's too much. Okay, all right, no opinions on other colors, so we will move on to Neptune. All right, so Neptune. Oh, Neptune's all the water. Of course, Neptune's all the water. No question. Neptune's all the water. Since Neptune is all the water, for sure blue. For sure blue. Because all the water signs, including Pisces, which is the one we're moving over to Neptune in modern rulership, are blue. So for sure, Neptune blue. Absolutely. But also, I think because we took Pisces away from Jupiter, we got to take some purple over there. I think so. Which makes sense because Neptune is also magic and mysticism and secrets and hiding the truth. And purple it's magic. I don't know how it happened. It's just we got lucky. Surprise! And I think that there's some of that energy in there. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go, yeah. I'm going to go blue and purple for Neptune. Would Neptune be kind of purpley? I think so too. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like almost the color of the background of these slides, right? That gradient of deep blue into deep purple black. But not black. Neptune, not black. Except if you go all outers are malefics, then that means that all the outers also have a twinge of black. Because bad guy. There's an argument for that. But I like to look at black as more the structure, because that's why Mars doesn't get black. A lot of people who do color mapping rulership will say Mars is black and not red, not orange. And I go, I get where that comes from. And also, I really want to keep black focused on structure, systems, pruning, chilling, things that are more Saturnian. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do that. Let's say that that's where that goes. And then finally, for Pluto, which is where we moved Scorpio from Mars. So we've got I want you to notice Scorpio is blue, black, and a little green. The story behind why names, words, talking too long. The reason Scorpio gets green is because the constellation of Scorpio used to be like, you know how Aquarius has a chalice, has a thing filled with water that it pours out. Aquarius has a tool. Sagittarius has bow and arrow. Sagittarius has a tool. Scorpio originally had a set of scales. Scorpio had a tool. It was, I am a scorpion holding scales. And then the constellation got cut and they put Libra as its own entity, asterisk, and Scorpio, no scales, no toy. Now, this explains the dynamic between the Scorpio and the Leo, and and the Libra, and I'm not just saying this because my asshole brother is a Scorpio and I am Libra dominant in my chart. I'm not saying that, except I'm saying that. Scorpio always feels like Libra belongs to it, and it's rude that it doesn't know that. And Scorpio is always butthurt that their toy got taken away. And when I said that Libra became its own entity with an asterisk, it's because Libra is the only sign represented by an inanimate object. So my fellow Libras, don't you love how nice we are as robots? Considering we are Cylons, don't you think we do human pretty well? I think we get it, but we're very definitely not humans. We are an inanimate object. And you wonder why we're disconnected from our emotions. Because you cut us off from Scorpio. We don't miss it. We're fine. Scorpio butthurt. Okay, but that means that Scorpio's got blue and black, but also a little bit of green. A little bit of green, because it's like that residual effect of having had Libra. So when we move Scorpio from Mars rulership over to Pluto, Pluto's definitely black. Pluto is definitely burn it all to the motherfucking ground to build over transformation, right? That Tower card energy. And so for sure it's black, because black says cut it, kill it, stop it. And Pluto's absolutely got that energy. Pluto also, though, is rise from those ashes, which is why Scorpio is such a great fit for it. And we got to have some fire, which since we took Scorpio away from Mars, I think we do have to bring that orange in, which makes Pluto black-orange. And I think we lose the blue and we lose the green entirely when we move Scorpio over to Pluto. How do you feel about me taking away more things from Pluto? How do you feel about me taking away more things from Scorpio when we move rulership to Pluto? I know Scorpio's mad. Why you gotta take more things away from me? You already took away my scales. Now you gotta take away green altogether. You gotta take away blue altogether. You know I'm still deep feeling. I know you are Scorpio, and you, Scorpio, will still be in this table as blue and black and a little bit of green. But your ruler, Pluto, I think is gonna be black and orange. I think so. I think so. Black as Saturn and not Mars with pruning. Pruning is often cutting, which is kind of Marsy. Yeah, no, I can see it too, Lizzie. I can. It's just, again, because dominant culture really has turned all of that fire into aggressive masculine energy. The cutting of Mars doesn't feel like pruning. It feels like cutting loose something that's holding me back from action. Therefore fire, therefore more orange. Whereas black is what stays behind after the cutting. See if that reconciles that for you. You agree with black-orange on Pluto? Okay. Also love the distinction between Scorpio and its ruler. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. See, because like Libra is pink and green, but Venus, its ruler, is only green. Now, here's another thing you have to consider when you're doing colors, y'all. Where your chart ruler lives also has a color. I know. This is why the astrology podcast has 4-hour-long episodes. This is why. Oh my God. Oh, I get it. Okay, so I've got a Libra rising and my Venus is in Leo. That means my green Venus is actually orange. Because that's where she's parked. Okay. Layer. Yeah, I get it. The vibe is different on the types of cutting for sure. Yeah. Okay. So back to our considering the outers slide. Does the vibe of your life car feel more aligned with the outers than the inners? Does the pace of your life car cycle with the outers? That one's tough because the outers are glacially slow. They are generationally slow. Like Pluto has not even done an entire lap since it's been discovered. Neptune just did its full lap since being discovered. Chiron right now is not yet done with its first lap since being discovered. It was discovered while it was in Taurus, and we're just right now getting a preview of Chiron in Taurus, and then Chiron's going to move back to Aries, finish up business for my generation of Chiron Aries people, and then go back into Taurus and be there for like 7 years. So we got a minute. Whew. So the pace. Yeah, I don't know. Do any of your big three have a tight relationship with any of the outers? So this is where we look at things like, I don't have a tight relationship with Uranus, but I'll tell you this. I used to use Placidus because that's how I grew up learning astrology, because that's how my mom learned astrology. Placidus, because that's what you did in the 70s, was Placidus. And then Project Hindsight came along in the 90s. And when Project Hindsight started uncovering ancient astrological texts that had been lost, it was discovered that the OG house system was whole sign houses. Hang on. What does everything look like in whole sign houses? Interestingly, whole sign houses puts Uranus out of my 12th house and into my first house. Uranus in the 12th house is a mental health, psychological, uprooting, subversive ideas, dreams of how we could fuck shit up, that kind of thing. Uranus in the first house is overtly, I am here to challenge and rebel and shake things up. And I love that I didn't have Uranus in the first house until after my Uranus opposition, which is something we all go through around the age of 42, 41, 42, 43, somewhere like that. When you have your Uranus opposition, which is what my mom was going through when my dad left and took everything with him, and then suddenly we're just like, it's us. What do we do? That Uranus opposition changed my relationship with Uranus and with being in your face and overt and, oh, fuck this, about a lot of things. I became much more Uranus first house after my Uranus opposition. And of course, I didn't learn about whole sign astrology until after my Uranus opposition. And I was like, well played. That is hashtag astrology good. It may be situation bad, but it's astrology good. Not that that's bad. But what I was saying is, having Uranus in my first house means that's a big part of my personality. Having Jupiter in my first house is a giant part of my personality. Can't apologize for it. Cannot. Jupiter in your first house, big personality. That's it. Period. End. Fini. But if, let's say, a tight relationship, this Neptune squaring my chart ruler, that's interesting. That's a relationship to manage. And trining loosely my Mars in fall. I'm like, Neptune's a bigger player in my chart than the other outers. Okay. So I might want to do something that helps Neptune do a little better, because Neptune and I have had some medical issues. was born with medical issues. I ended up having lots and lots of stuff going on by the time I was 3 that was medically intervened, and blah, 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 medical trauma, blah, blah, blah. So, if you've got any of your big 3 having a tight relationship with any of the outers, you may want to do chart harmony for the outers. Is your chart ruler especially in a tight relationship with any of the outers? So not just the big 3, the signs, but the signs that those are in, but also the chart ruler itself. Does it have a connection with the chart with any of the outers? Are you experiencing any of the outers via transit right now? You heard me mention that around age 42 we have the Uranus opposition. Are you about to go into that? Are you about to have a Neptune square? Are you about to have a Pluto square? Are you about to have a Neptune trine? Are you about to have something that the outers activate? When Pluto was in Capricorn, I want you to look. When Pluto was in Capricorn, which was all 2018 to 2024. Sweet Jesus, how did we live through that? How did we live through that? Okay, Pluto was in Capricorn for 100 years. It was 14 years, but 16 years. Pluto was in Capricorn either opposing or squaring something important in my natal chart for a decade and a half. Seriously, guys. I almost pieced out. That was hard. That was hard. So I may have wanted to do some Pluto remediation. That might have been a priority. But now we're cool. We're cool, Pluto. We're cool, Pluto. It's going to be a long time before you're opposing my chart ruler. You got 20-something years in Aquarius. You got a long time before you get to 29 degrees. We're good. Or do you just want to start using the outers for planetary remediation to find out what happens? That's fine. You don't have to need it. You can just want it. You can just want it. Factors to keep in mind. Outers are generational, which means it will take a long time to see the results of doing work with the outers, because they don't show up and say, hey, I am actually having a change because of that thing you did quickly like the others do. Also, of course, you have your own unique map filled with colors beyond those in your life car, and you experience colors in different ways because of transits, timing techniques, etc. So I've listed a few of those. Transits woo weather in general, retrogrades, stationing direct, that also is an issue. Planets out of bounds, going in and out of bounds in the woo weather, out of bounds in your birth chart maybe. Essential dignity, we did a whole slide on that, of course. Sun sign seasons, when the sun moves through each of the houses of your chart for a month at a time, roughly, that's lighting something up, and it could agitate, activate, shine light on some of the things that might exist with the outers that you couldn't see otherwise. Your natal colors, your solar return charts, your progressions, your perfections, your Fidaria, your whatever timing technique you want to use. All of these things can be a part of the equation. This color mapping chart is something that I can do for you if you're working with me as a client. This can be incredibly helpful because it also shows where you have clusters of color and where it might be different than you thought it would be based on what the chart looked like. Because looking at the chart, if you just go, okay, I got blue, I got blue, I got blue, I got blue, you're not keeping in mind that what is there is like the sun is an orange thing. Mars is an orange thing. Mercury is a pink thing. And so they also bring a little bit of that color to the mix. And so if this is something you want, BonnieGillespie.com/scheduler is how to get on my schedule. With any kind of one-on-one session work that you want. I also have a membership called Live Your Chart, which I'd love for you to join. We get together every month and we go through the woo weather of the month ahead, and we talk about what colors are where, but we also just talk through what is that transit going to feel like, what is that ingress going to feel like, what is that retrograde station going to feel like, what is that out of bounds ending going to feel like, etc. We do all that each month, and then we also have, after a break, we do a part 2, which is a deep dive on something, and we pick an area that we're going to do based on what the members need. Now here's where I've got an old slide and a link that's put on it. If you want a calendar done for you because you're like, I want to know what the days are and I want to know what those days are from Bonnie, I don't want to figure it out by myself, Cool, I got you. I put this together every month, and I can get you there with, move tab to new window, with that link right there, which I will put in the description when I edit it. There, the Chart Harmony Calendar. It is a mini course plus the calendar for the low, low price of $44 a year. That's it. You get the calendars at least a week before the new month. So pretty much when the sun moves into the next sign, ish, somewhere around there, around, 24th. And there's more than 90 minutes of content in this mini course, so I know I probably shouldn't call it a mini course, but there it is. So if that is something you want, I got you. I got you. And it's not even all that expensive. Okay, let's play. Okay, playtime. Playtime, playtime. You ready? I want you to pick a color. Pick a color that you would like to do planetary remediation on or with, or chart harmony with. Pick a color. So you do not even have to pick a planet. You do not even have to pick a sign. You do not have to pick because of a transit. You can just pick a color, and you can pick a color you're curious about. You can pick a color that you have a lot of, so you want to see if what I suggest is right. Pick a color. Pick a color, any color. You did not know about whole sign being rediscovered. Yeah, that's one of the many things that was unearthed thanks to Project Hindsight. Zodiacal releasing was another one. It didn't have the name zodiacal releasing back in the before times. I mean, we're talking thousands of years ago, but it was a technique that was used, and so it was named modernly zodiacal releasing. Yeah. Okay, cool. Love the layers. I thought you were going to say something about the houses and what signs rule them, but you mean like literally what sign the placement is in. Yes. You have it. You got it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. So pick a color for yourself. Put it in chat if you want. And then you're going to pick a remedy. We can do colors, like wearing the color of the day. That is the easiest way to connect with the color. You got purple? Great. Do you want to go with a color? Do you want to go with a food, like a color to wear, or a color like color nail polish, or a food to eat, a playlist, a ritual, activities, herbs, plants, flowers, planetary hours, drinks, crystals. Crystals are great because often it's just pick the color of the crystal and you're going to be correct. Witchy shit, hashtag witchy shit, oils, incense, vision boards, workouts. What do you want? Pick a remedy. Pick a remedy that you want to be purple. You want nail polish? That's easy. You're going to paint your nails purple. It's just that easy. Here's the secret shortcut. Notice where you are already doing chart harmony, and now start labeling it as such. And don't worry about getting it right. Virgos, Capricorns, I'm talking to you. Do not worry about getting it right. Do not worry about getting it right. Do not worry about getting it right. Because it's not about perfection. It's about intention. We don't need you to be precise or perfect. We need you to have clear intention. I am doing purple chart harmony because I want to ignite in my chart and in my life more magic, more unexpected optimism, more irrational faith that everything's going to work out. Purple. Great. I want to do it with just a color. Great. Wear something purple. Paint your nails purple. If you can't have your nails painted a wild color because of whatever work situation you're in, whatever, because I know that's a thing, paint your toenails purple. Write on your body in purple. Get a tattoo in purple. Like, that's a way to do an orange thing, because Mars, cut a bitch, tattooing. That's a lot of little cuts. That's a Mars planetary remediation. I love that I don't have fire, but I have multiple tattoos because I went and got fire, because that's also wherever you put tattoos on your body, you created an energy source. There's more energy drawn to that. If you like look on an aura map, or like when they're doing body scan temperature stuff, you have a hot spot wherever you have tattoos. I love that. It's like, I'm getting my fire. Yes, I am. Yes, purple sparkles, of course. Yes. So back when I was in pole classes 6 to 8 times a week, I'm not that girl anymore. but I was in my 40s. Oh yes, I was. I loved doing purple nail polish with glitter on top on my toes. My toenails were always purple glitter, and I just loved. And I would like get into a pose and I'm looking up at my feet and I'm like, yes, shine, sparkle, sparkle. Yes, your tats are wrist and forearms. So then you could also look at what are the body parts that rule the wrist and forearms, and the arms in general are Gemini. So Mercury ruled. So do you do some planetary remediation with Mercury, and do you connect with Gemini by getting tats on your arms? The answer is yes. You do a orange Mars connection with a Mercury Gemini arm part. I know. This stuff goes deep. It's so much fun. Okay, here's a very old slide. This is from Chart Harmony 101, which the link for that is already in the description. Chart Harmony 101 is what I recommend if you want to spend more time on Life Car and how we get to these colors and all that. And then here is your reminder. It takes your whole life to live your chart. So I know we look at it all at once. We look at all its parts and we may get overwhelmed. We look at the memes and feel dragged by all the stuff. But we don't live our charts all at once. Even though the chart of our birth is a transit chart for that moment in time at that place. Like right now there's a birth chart. Right now there's a birth chart. Right now there's a birth chart. Right now there's infinite birth charts, because it's not just there's one here, but there's one wherever you are and wherever you are and wherever you are. Like there's so many birth charts constantly being birthed, because every relationship has a birth chart. Every project has a birth chart. Every new car we buy has a birth chart. Every business we get into, partnership we create, these all have birth charts. We don't experience the whole birth chart at once. We have our whole lives to dial in relationships with all the stuff that's in our birth chart. I mentioned Uranus not really being prominent in my life until after my Uranus opposition. Oh, and by the way, my Uranus opposition, the Uranus opposition is the moment in midlife. It's like one of the first midlife crisis transits where you have a clear line of your life before and after. For my mom, it was divorce, finding astrology, complete change of life. Yes. For me, it was start pole fitness, because I didn't just start pole. I healed trauma through pole. I got best friendships through pole. I changed my body through pole. Yes, I changed my relationship with lots of sexual trauma and body issues. I healed so much through pole, and I became pole evangelical. I would not shut up about it. If you were in my life and you were coming into Santa Monica, you were going to a pole class with me. I brought so many pole babies into the pole studio, and so many of them went on to become instructors or like open their own pole studios. And I'm just like, I love it so much. I love it so much. And so you go, okay, so a Uranus opposition doesn't have to be my life falls apart, my marriage ends, I have no money, I have to hustle to figure out what to do. No, that's one way. It could also be you buy a wild car that you never would have had otherwise. For me, it was pole came into my life, and I can always now measure my life in terms of before pole and after pole. I mean, this is my second home pole. Second. That is the kind of thing that you don't get born and immediately experience your Uranus. You might, if it's on something in your natal chart that you experience younger, or if it gets activated younger because of transits, sure. But I just want you to not get overwhelmed by how things look, ever. Zoom out. And if you want to, again, zoom out, this is a great way to do it. Just go with the elements. Just go with the elements. Ask yourself, does this activity inspire my spirit? If the answer is yes, it is feeding your fire. Ask yourself, does this activity nourish my body? If the answer is yes, you're feeding Earth. Ask yourself, does this activity engage my brain? If yes, you are feeding air. Does this activity soothe my soul? If the answer is yes, you are feeding water. So whatever element is missing from your life car, you can just pick activities from that master list. You can do things, and I do have like entire guides to like what all of these can be. Like rulership lists. I have like, it's an Airtable database because it's so big of like what workouts would be considered the ones to do on orange days, what would be the workouts to do on pink days, what would be the workouts to do on purple days, or during green hour on black day, like all of it. You can coordinate a workout, a meal, a ritual, oils, crystals, all of it, all of it, all of it. It is so awesome to use these kinds of tools to connect more with your chart. Makes me very, very happy. This is a place I'm going to send you if you would like to download my cute little, you're gonna laugh, get ready. My cute little 1990s style directory. Look at it. How cute and retro is it? I know. I could go ahead and create like an actual library that looks nice and Venus approved, but I kind of love that this is still like this because it reminds me of a time when the internet was dial up. And you know, when they take away all our internet and turn it against us, they being the AI, please support your human channels. When they take over, I'm not threatened by it because I lived before there was an internet. I'll live after. I'm not worried about it. So if you want to know what drinks could I use to connect with Jupiter, here's your infographic. It's got stuff on it that's top shelf. Yes, Jupiter's always the best, top shelf. But it's celebratory, it's fancy, it's garnished beautifully. It's fun. It's festive, it's celebratory, and then here it says you can do this on Jupiter's day, you can do it on Sagittarius or Pisces moons twice a month, or anytime we're at the numerology of 3, do it. And if you're like, ooh, okay, I want to do some Mars workouts. Oh, great, Mars loves workouts. You want to do this on any time the moon is in a fire sign, or anytime we're in the numerology of 1 or 8. And there's some pole fitness right there, right in the middle. But there's also boxing. Boxing is great for Mars because, you know, boxing, kickboxing, all good. Yes. Archery, competition. Yes. All these. Now, the other of these that are up here from a different time, these are actually, let's pull a green one. These are from when we did the Chart Harmony Challenge. And I know Lizzie remembers this because this was some of Lizzie's favorite time with Chart Harmony. And we did this, like we took the whole month of June of, I want to say 2022, and built like all the things for every day of June. I think it was 2022. It was so much fun. And you can play, I want to do Green Day bingo. And so again, down here it says this includes Fridays, which is Venus Day, starting at sunrise, numerology 4, 6, or 8, when we're in a Taurus moon, when we're in a Libra moon, when we're a little bit in a Scorpio moon. All of these you can play on green and go collect as much as you want. Now, the outers will not be on these, but you now know that we've got outers with black energy, right? So we would just add to this bingo Pluto and Uranus. So if you're experiencing a Pluto transit, if you're experiencing a Uranus transit, and what do I mean by that? I mean, we're looking at your natal chart, and then we're going to put the woo weather of the now on the outside of my chart. So I just put an extra, like a shower cap over the natal chart wheel of mine. And so let's see if, who's about to do something? Oh, Mars, I'm about to get my Mars return. Please don't hurt me. Please, Hammer, don't hurt me. I don't have any outer doing. Oh, I'm having a Uranus trine. That's cute. Like, I'm totally having a Uranus trine. Excellent. If I wanted to do something to celebrate this Uranus trine, I would go, what a great time for me to practice either black or pink for Uranus, because those are the colors we decided on. And we can do that because just like someone decided Scorpio moves to Pluto, that was a decision that a human made. That there's no like king, god, lord of astrology that dictated it so beyond the thema mundi, but which was also interpreted by humans. So really, I mean, same as religion. Sorry about it. Don't mean to offend you, but all religion is some dude saying this is what it is. And you could say, yes, but it was handed down. Sure. Astrology too. And interpreted by a human. Always human, because we do that. We're interpreting things, beings. So I would go, oh, great. What if this feels extra Uranus-y? Wearing black, sure. Using cannabis, that definitely feels like the rebellious Saturn kid / Uranus. Aquarius, yes. Buy nothing, that's rebellious in a capitalism society. Yep, I like that. Okay, so you follow? If you would like that, that link will also be in the replay as I edit it with all the things. But I've got all of those created for you, as well as the bingo cards from a previous generation. Yes, someday I will create a proper opt-in page where you have to give me an email address in order to get the goodies, but that day is not today. So don't worry about it. Live your chart, which I mentioned before. Would love for you to come join us. This is so much fun. We really have a blast, and going through all the deep dives is an extra little slice of heaven. But it's the time where we just look at the calendar and you tell me, you've got a thing coming up. What does it need to be? What do we need to be doing? What do we need to not be doing? Let's make sure it lines up. And just like we had someone whose kid was getting wisdom teeth cut out, and we narrowed down like it needs to be here and here, but definitely not here. Yeah, like just love it. This is an old slide. I don't actually have guided chart harmony anymore, so don't read any of this other part, because I don't do this. I don't do the book. I don't do the book anymore. I don't do that. And there's not a next slide anymore, because the next slide was all pages from the workbook, and I don't do that anymore. But I do, she said do. I do one-on-one coaching, and so that's why this is here. Kitty not included. That is one of my clients' kitties. She said, you would not believe what Doja's doing right now. And I was like, what is Bonnie Buffant doing? Because, of course, I've decided the cat's name is Bonnie Buffant. And she said, Bonnie Buffant, a.k.a. Doja, is resting her fat face, on the computer while we're having this Zoom. And I said, show me. And this was me being excited about what I was about to be seeing. And that picture is just perfect. So there we go. Final thoughts. This is on a very old slide. This is just a reminder that we've got a lot. Astrology, we're never done talking about. Never done talking about. If you've decided you are interested in astrology more than the memes on Instagram, you will never be done. Never. You will never be done. You will never be done. You will never be done. I will never be done. No one will ever be done. There is always more to learn. There is always more to play with. There is always more to pattern track and explore. Part of why I love it. This is also where I talk about the placebo effect, and the placebo effect is scientifically backed. I met with my mind-body doctor a couple weeks ago. He said, hey, I want you to try these supplements. You like supplements, right? I'm like, I love supplements. He's like, great. I want you to add this one and see if this helps you with focus, with that menopausal ADD thing. Let's see if this helps you focus and get things done, because you're so easily distracted right now. Let's see if this helps with your focus. I don't care if those supplements are what have done it, but sure shit enough, I am getting things done. I'm getting things over the finish line. Things that have been taking for fuck ever are getting done. And I'm like, great. I don't care if it's the placebo effect. I really don't. It's working. And because science says the placebo effect is just fine, so is chart harmony. So is planetary remediation. And also, if we're right, the planets are noticing when we say, hey, Mars, can you help me with this? I need to make a decision, and it's really, I got a Libra stellium, so it's really hard for me to make a decision. And Mars is weak in my chart, so it's really hard for me to make a decision, and I need to. I've created this little altar around the decision I need to make, and here it is, Mars hour, and I'm lighting this candle, and the candle's red because I know you like that. And I put a little oil on it, and the oil is Mars oil from Sphere and Sundry, and I know that gets to you. So I've put a little petition, and I've drawn a little sigil, and I've got it up under the candle, and I'm going to light this candle to request that you give me some centering and holding while I work less hard to make this decision and find it to just be as easy as you find it to cut things. And I thank you in advance for your help with that. That's it. That's it. If Mars is reaching back when I do that, awesome. If all it did was get me centered on what kind of energy I need to invite into my decision-making process, also awesome. It's okay to be pragmatic. You don't have to be anti-woo to be pragmatic. You don't have to be that guy. That guy's a dick. That guy's a dick. Okay. And I just want to say, love, Mom. Love, Mom. Thank you for joining me for this. Thank you for my seriously 3-hour long live stream. I don't think I've ever done a 3-hour live stream before. Maybe I have. I don't think I have. I might have to go look. I'm going to have to go look at my stats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And thank you some more. Thank you some more. My puppy dog has said, I know you are making sounds of being done now, and I am here to get scritches. Yes, you are. You have been so patient. You have been so patient. Go to your spot. Go to your spot. Go. Up. Go. He says, no, I want scritches, but I want you to be seen. Up. Come on. Go. He says, no, I'm not going up there. You're just going to scritch me, and I guess I'm just going to scritch him. All right. I'm scritching you, but nobody can see, and you're so cute. I want people to see you. Yeah, that's all right. They remember. I'm cute. Okay, last call for questions, people. Those of you watching in replay, hey, replay crew, thank you. I'm curious what questions you have. Thank you for making it all the way through. If and you did. I mean, this was a lot. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. I was just remembering this. Yes. I sometimes feel disconnected from what soothing my soul feels like, which, yes, water is missing from my life car. Right. So this is great, Liz, because something in your chart does know what soul soothing feels like. Something, and now that I'm not sharing my screen on camera, I'm going to actually pull your chart up. And I'm going to suggest what it might be. And if you're like, hey, pull my chart up, well, come be one of my clients. That's how that goes. Don't worry, I'm not putting you on screen. Where are you? No. Oh, wait, do I have you as Elizabeth? I wouldn't have you as Elizabeth. Would I have you as Elizabeth? I wouldn't have you as Elizabeth. Where are you? There she is. There she is. Okay, I'm going to say, honey, your exalted Jupiter in Cancer knows what soothes your soul. Your exalted Jupiter in Cancer opposing your ascendant knows what soothes your soul. You have just been resisting it because your ascendant is conjunct Uranus, going, nuh-uh. No, I found you. I've got you saved as Liz. I had to look, because I move people to different buckets in my astrology software, so it's not just one long thing. So I have like actual fam, and then I have my fam that is like all my fire friends and people who work for me and stuff like that, team bond. And then I have my session clients, and then I have people who are in Live Your Chart, and then I have people who are in revisioning, and I have people who are in aligned MCs, and so like just yeah. Yes. Leaning in. Yes. Leaning in. Okay. I do love that. I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you. Yes, we are. Yes. Good. And then when you feel something that goes, oh, that soothed my soul, do a thing of gratitude around it. This is another opportunity for some witchy shit. And there's my dog. It's an opportunity to do. There's my sweet dog. Hey, sweet dog. He says, Mommy, please shut up and play with me. I'm going to. I'm going to. Thank you to that moment of clarity of feeling what soothes my soul. Thank you for your part in that. Exalted Cancer Jupiter. You know? Yeah. Gratitude practice needs help too, so this really is perfect. Good. Yes, yes, reverse engineering is allowed. Blue and purple sounds like Neptune. Yep, show is. Great. So when Neptune transiting, let me look. Neptune is currently at 3 degrees Aries, but retrograde, so it's going to be a while before it gets to your Venus, but it will be in a trine to your moon sooner. Like, those are opportunities when, you know what? It can even also be when the moon is conjunct Neptune every freaking month. Every month when the moon hits Neptune, you can use that moment to connect with Neptune, even though Neptune's in a fire sign right now and will be for years. That's if you want to use that technique, I have a live stream on it that's called Get on the Bus. It's using the moon to build a connection to anything in your chart. Yeah. Okay, thank you, LOL. Go scritch your puppy boy. I booked another one-on-one while we were on here. Hee hee. Yay. Good. Great. We'll chat more soon. Can't wait. Excited. Love you tons. Yes, I'm gonna scritch my baby. He's acting like he's just acting like it's fucking hot and like the world is a lot. He is well. He is well. Are you well? I'm well. Thank you so much for being with me. I love you much. Please join us at our Discord where we hang out and talk chart harmony and woo weather, share memes. So glad we had this time together. I hope that it has given you some ideas, some deeper dives you may like to do, questions, toss them in the comments. I always come back around and answer them. And if you'd like to see when I'm going to be live streaming next, go to bonniegillespie.com/events. I've got it up there. Thank you much. See you soon. Love y'all. Bye.